And I think we're live, Spinny.
Oh, yeah.
Here we are, dude.
What's up?
We're doing it. We're doing the pod.
We're doing it.
I get to stare into your beautiful blue eyes for
Try not to get hypnotized.
an undisclosed amount of time, dude. Yeah. I'm excited.
Texas strong over there?
I am. I'm feeling it.
Yeah,
feeling
dude.
The pride.
You just got back. Well,
a little while
ago.
Yeah.
I've been going to Texas quite a bit.
Yeah, not enough, dude. I love it. I love it out there.
Was it so
calls
glorious?
To me. Oh, yeah. It was cold, but it's nice to know that it gets cold, you know?
There's seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
But Spinny, cheers, buddy. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Are you going to cheers me and not take a sip?
Sorry, I always do that. It's never malicious. Thank you for coming on the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring you here for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
You're one of my best friends in the whole world. I've known you for as long as I can remember.
At least
and you're also
years.
one of the most talented musicians I know, and one of just individuals that I know. And I want to try to tap into that and see, you know, where you came from, what makes you tick. Because one of the things I'm realizing with these podcasts, you know, I'm not any you know, big person. I'm not getting you know, celebrity people, you know, but like my friends are kind of, you know, not to be cheesy, but they're the
You
are a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
You're a big deal in Russia. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that's actually kind of taboo. And the Ukraine. Just that area. But yeah, we'll get to that. But you know, my friends are big deals to me, and so what I've kind of learned is that like you can tap into shit that you didn't even know about your friends. Like I've known you forever. I know a lot about you, but I haven't asked you, you know, a lot of stuff. So I basically here, hang on a second. I got some shit written down here.
Oh, he's got notes.
Well, I mean, it's just we're gonna wing it, but you know what I mean.
No, cool.
It's just gonna be me and you talking. But if we need to,
sure.
You know, but I guess start out. You know, for people that don't know who you are, you know, who are you? What do you do? What are you into?
I'm into.
What's your name?
My name's Spencer.
Spencer Linn.
Friends call me Spenny, so don't call me that if you're not my friend, dude.
You got a lot of names.
I go by many
names.
Spinach,
egg, and cheese is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I would say you're the king of nicknames for me.
Maybe it could be.
I think so. I think there's usually a different one almost every time we hang out.
Today it was Spinner chicken dinner.
Yeah, dude.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so you are the king of the nicknames, but so I go by many names, and I'm into like light BDSM. I'm into like wax play, you know. No, I
not like that, Smitty. This is not a dating profile.
Fuck. Okay. No, like, you know, music. I do music all the time.
You do all the musics.
Do all the musics all the time, and the Odious has been my longest term.
Your main squeeze.
It's been my longest term project,
fame, at least locally.
Yeah.
And within your niche cult following that the Odious has, which is very strong and very wide ranging.
Yeah, they are strong.
From sea to sea.
They are a strong, weird bunch.
We're a strong, weird bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
But right now you've literally gone all the way across the musical spectrum, and you're doing like crazy hip hop stuff, which if we can, I want to listen to some of it.
Sure.
Later and show people you know what you've been working on, and just I'd like to show people some of your metal stuff and then some of your rap stuff and be like, look what this man can do. Sure, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've known each other just forever. I mean, thinking back to like the first time we ever met, like I think it was at Despised Icon's last show. Yeah. Right? In Portland. In Portland on their last tour before they got back together, which is kind of a rip-off. I know. Come on.
That was their last show.
I'm glad that they're back together. But
I'm on the record. Fuck Despised Icon.
No, you're not.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Not. I love doing like fake hot takes. You know?
Hot takes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun.
Fair warning, guys. There'll be a couple fake
hot takes, and then I'll just retract it immediately.
Right away. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, outside the Satyricon, that's where we're at.
Yep.
I do. I remember that very clearly.
I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think I pulled out like my literal flip phone. I think I pulled out my flip phone and I put Spencer the Odious in my contacts.
Sick.
I think it was one of those ones that you flip out. It was like it opened up like a regular flip phone, and then you could close it and turn it to the side and flip it up again a different way, and it had a keyboard on it. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were ahead of the game.
I mean, no, that was like the game right there.
That was
I was
the game.
Just in the mix.
Yeah.
I was in the game.
Yeah. I remember that very well.
But it was weird because like I hadn't even started a band. And this gets me to some other stuff that I want to talk about too, but I hadn't even started a band yet, and I think you've reminded me that our conversation, it's been a lot of marijuana and alcohol since then.
Sure.
And other things.
Sure.
But you were like, you know, I remember you telling me I'm going to start this band. Right?
Yeah.
So we just had Blaine on the podcast, and we went through kind of the whole story of like starting the band, and I hadn't even really, we just like hadn't even played a show. We were like maybe we just had got a practice spot.
It was real early.
Premature.
It was real early.
Really,
when you were talking to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, we gotta play some shows or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just remember like when I first saw you play. And I mean, you know, I'm not even gassing you up here. And this was so long ago. Like, you think about how much better you are now, even. But you've been on game for a long time. And
Thanks, man.
when I saw you play, I remember like hearing, you know, I think honestly, and I'm just gonna be transparent. I think I might have been like outside because it was like the opener band. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when you're there to see a band, you know, you're probably outside. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I was probably outside smoking a cigarette, and I don't know if I was outside or if I was like by the merch booth, but I heard your singing that sounded kind of like that grungy, like Alice in Chains shit that my dad fucking raised me on, and I was like, holy fuck, what is that? And it was like metal mixed with that, and I had to go in there and see what was going on. And I heard the keyboard, and I saw Patty, and it was just like, I do remember these like they're like strobes
flashes,
memory, like flashes of memory, but I remember them like colorfully and like vividly.
Very cool.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a huge compliment.
What do you remember about that show?
I mean, well, I think I remember specifically during Despised Icons set, there was a flash mob of clowns.
Was that the Despised Icons show?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so weird.
There was a flash mob.
Dude, that was some literal... Holy fuck. That was like traumatized.
It was weird. It was fucking crazy.
Portland is fucking weird, as everybody knows.
It was crazy.
It's not a good thing. It's not a cute, Portland's weird. It's so fucking weird and shitty.
It was cute at one point.
It was cute.
It's gotten too weird.
It's like actually weird. But this was back when it was still coming off of the cute high and it's like coming down into the weird cascade.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
The hangover.
But we're sitting there watching Despised Icon, and all of a sudden you see one clown run in. And you're like, what? And then clowns are pouring in. I think it was like a bar crawl or something like that. It must have been like it was a literal flash mob. It was actually when flash mobs were cool.
Right.
When it was like a trending thing on Facebook or MySpace or whatever. Like people going, or like prehistoric YouTube. Like people going in and like one guy in the mall would start like clapping and then everyone like it would be a rehearsed dance thing. You remember those?
Yeah.
Was that a flash mob too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would dance.
Yeah. There'd be like
normally they weren't clowns though.
No, not always. That was a weird thing. And there were scary clowns. I think it was around Halloween.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like in October?
I think so.
I want to say.
Yeah.
You could probably find the flyer.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere.
But
that was a very vivid part. I remember talking to you, and then I remember
that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Did Those Who Lie Beneath play that show?
They
with you?
might have. There was one other
it was
opener.
Misery Index, right?
Yeah, Misery Index, Revocation.
I don't remember this stuff. It's so weird.
I know.
Concerts are so burned into your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, back that age, you know, when you're like 15
the
and
stuff
shit.
on the math test, but you can remember.
Yeah.
I don't even remember like the last concert I went to unless I really think about it. You know what I mean? Like less than I remember a plethora of ones when I was younger, which is weird.
Yeah.
But what was the last concert you went to?
This is a story. The last concert I went to was Nile and
Hello.
This past, I don't know, it was actually a couple weeks ago. It was at the Hawthorne Theater.
Okay.
Nile, Incantation, Sanguisugabog.
That's a new name that I've never heard.
Yeah.
Cool name.
They're sick, and I'm pretty sure I'm saying the name right. They're like a death metal type band.
Okay.
Went there with the homies. But what ended up happening,
you want
dude.
Some water?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you. My girlfriend fucking broke her face at this show. She broke her nose.
No.
Yeah.
Was it bloody?
It was so bloody and crooked, and it got very fucked up, and she basically got crowd killed.
Did you break up with her afterwards?
Yeah, I was like, I can't look at you.
Just kidding.
No.
Okay.
No, I was like, you're even more beautiful than the damn at you. But no, I took her to the ER. But no, it was a crowd kill. It was a crowd kill, hardcore situation.
Crowd kills during fucking Nile?
No, it was during the first band. It was during the first band, first song of the first band.
The local band or something?
No, it was Sanguisugabog.
Oh, okay.
So it was the first touring
band.
band.
A hardcore band?
No, not really. And that was what was so weird about it. It was like one lone, and I didn't see it happen. I was getting a drink, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, baby girl was doing her thing. She's been to shows, you know. She does her thing, you know. And she was standing outside on the edge of the pit, just taking a little breather. And then this guy starts doing the backwards, you know, fucking swing like my dad never fucking hugged me, you know what I mean? And then he fucking hammer fists her right in the face.
Jesus Christ.
And then doesn't say anything.
Did he like get away with it? Or?
Yeah, completely. I was like,
he one of those fucking Doc Martens wearing came to hurt somebody kind of
I mean, I it's either that or he was incredibly drunk. I don't know.
Maybe he was just really feeling the music. You know?
It's possible, I guess. I mean, but it was fucked up, and I was like, what did he look like? You know?
You were getting ready to throw down.
I was like, seeing red. I was furious.
You're never heated.
Yeah, but I mean, if someone, you know, that's how to get.
Heated. I mean, but
you've seen me heated, but it takes a lot, you know.
It takes a lot of digging.
It takes a lot of digging. I gotta dig for that.
Yeah.
But this is where I was like, I get to shed blood.
My woman.
Yeah. And I had all my boys with me, so I was like, we're gonna find this guy.
This guy up.
But she was like, all I saw was like a black hoodie and a black hat, and I was just like, fuck. I mean, he's like a white guy
at a Nile show.
Yeah, and I like look around. It's just like literally what everyone's wearing. Jesus. So yeah, that was the last show I went to.
I can't remember the last. I don't think I can remember the last one I went to. It wasn't here. It was in Texas, I think.
Oh, okay. With metal show. Come and Take It.
Yeah, I think that was the last show I went to that I didn't play.
Okay.
Was Rain, the homie Skylar from that runs Come and Take It.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the guy that's like always at the door with the long hair?
Yeah.
And him and his wife kind of run it.
Yeah.
You remember?
And
vaguely.
when
you were there for our first show back from COVID in May, right? Mm-hmm. You met her. I think she gave us like cookies. I don't know. She has like a cookie business. Anyway,
cool.
Shout out to Alex and fucking Skylar. They're the homies from Texas. But anyway, Skylar's band played their first show back from COVID, and I happened to be on that trip I just went on.
Oh, sick!
Out there, and I was like, dude, I gotta come hang out and support because he like saved our ass. He's the guy that when our van broke down
on the tour
in Austin, 30 minutes outside of Austin, luckily right next to a fucking mechanic shop, it just wasn't working, and we had to get it taken in. So. I called him and I called around and he was like, dude, I got a van. I was getting ready to pay like $3,000 to rent a fucking Sprinter van because all the cheap like Ford Econoline vans, they're all taken like months out. They're all reserved months out because nobody wants to pay the surcharge for a Sprinter unless you're like a rapper.
Sure.
And so I was getting ready to pay for a fucking Sprinter van just to get us through the next couple of Texas shows. Mm-hmm. And it was going to be a huge dent in like our money and who knows what it was going to cost to fix the van because we didn't know what was wrong with it. You know what I mean? It was stressful, but he was like, dude, I got a van that I rent out to people. I'll pull up. I'll pick up your trailer. I'll take you to the Austin show tonight. Awesome. And if you guys can't get your van back, I'll drive you guys to San Antonio and Corpus if you need to. And I was like, dude, you're a fucking legend.
That's awesome.
And he only charged me like $150.
Wow.
Luckily, because we ended up getting it back. Not the show after the Austin show. He took us to San Antonio, which is like an hour and a half, an hour away, and then took us back. Our van was ready by that third show, and so we picked up our van and then drove to Corpus.
Cool.
But he still helped us out in a big way. That was super cool. So shout out Skylar.
That's a good place to break down outside of Austin.
Dude, that show was so cool though, and I had a moment during that show, and I think I've talked about it on either this podcast or somebody else's that I did, but. I had a moment where like I realized because I was in Austin and I had a comedy show to go to the next couple of days at Vulcan, you know.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And you know how they like take your phones and put them in bags and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a moment and I made like a little post about it just to poll or whatever on Facebook to see like what people thought and some of the responses were pretty funny, but I was like, should we like put our phones in bags at metal shows, like even like small local ones? You know what I mean? Like, and just like, if you need to use your phone, like go outside because like people people are like recording the videos. And for me, I was so in the moment. Like I posted that status cause I was like on my phone and I was like, fuck, I need to like put my phone away. Right. Like, so why I posted it. I was like, I need to put my phone away and just enjoy this. I was watching like Impending Doom. His band was opening up for Impending Doom and a couple other bands, but I'm just watching this band that I don't really even know their music much, you know, and I've never been like a super diehard fan of them, but I'm just sitting here watching and they're like killing it and the room is just vibing and like not a lot of people had their phones out, but I was like purposely trying to put my phone away and I was like, this is so much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just kind of like, it makes me wonder, you know, should people like, what if we did that? You know what I mean? I think there'd be people that'd be like mad about it.
Sure.
But it's like you can go outside and use your phone. Nobody's taking your phone. It's not like a coat check. Right. They give you it right back to you.
It's in the bag.
Yeah. And I feel like nobody cares about your stupid video from the show. It looks terrible. Yeah. It sounds small and dinky. It doesn't give you the same oomph and you don't feel it in your chest. It's like it almost seems. And I basically completely, you know. People when they like tag us in like live videos, like I appreciate it. It helps spread the word, you know what I mean? No doubt. And like it's exposure and like, but I stopped sharing those videos of us live. You know what I mean? And not just some nights, maybe I sound shitty or something, but it's not even about how we sounded. It's just that it's not what it's like to be there.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm selling you when I want you to come out to our tour date.
Right.
I don't want you to come out and experience the fucking video you saw on your friend's phone. Like it's much bigger and
I mean, we shouldn't have to do that. I wish we wouldn't have to do that, but
I just wonder how much better shows would be. Like, I think people would vibe more.
Yeah.
I do. Because I'm guilty of it. We all sit on our phones way too much when we're fucking at metal shows. I know that between bands gets boring, but you go outside to smoke a cigarette, go outside and use your phone. Yeah. And come back in.
We did it for plenty of years before. You know?
And it was like those shows, you know, I was like engaged there the whole time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You might have to like look around and make eye contact with a stranger and be like, what's up?
And you're kind of ruining your own experience.
Absolutely.
If you think about it. Because you're like looking, you're like, oh, sweet, I love this band. And you're watching them. You'll probably pull your phone out twice during their set, if not more. Whether to take a video or something, you vibrates or you fucking just want to look at it or it's like a muscle memory. But then you're like, oh, you're going to check your Facebook and it's like, oh, fucking war. And
right. You get sucked in.
News. And you're like, and then you're like ruining your own, you're shitting on your own fucking spaghetti here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, on your own bolognese, dude.
Anyway, that was just a random thought I had from my Austin trip because that was like a thought that I had when I was there because I knew I was going to see Kill Tony and they put your phone in bag. And so I posted about it, and I was literally like, I'm posting this as I should be watching a metal show. Like, please help me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we all have a problem.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem.
There was a lot of people like, fuck that. Let people do what they want. And why are we got to have all these rules? And I'm like, well, you know, you're trying to fucking force people to be vaccinated to go to shows and wear masks. So, you know, might as well just take your phone, too.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why it's a bigger problem with the comedy shows because they like out of context, like doxing or not doxing, canceling shit. You know, that's a problem and whatnot. And I guess it's not as much of a problem with metal shows. It's just lame. People should just know it's lame to like be on your phone while there's a band playing, even if they suck. Like even if they suck, watch them suck.
And dude, nobody's watched more. Like when we did the tour. Like, I tried as hard as I could, unless I was completely just dead on a Tuesday or something.
Sure.
To go watch, like, most of the local bands and, like, network with them, like, make friends with them, meet these people. Especially because they hustled tickets to be on our show. And you know what? To be honest, I played with everyone's band and everyone and your mom's favorite band when we were doing SC and we were here in Portland opening all the national tours. You know what I mean? And none of those guys ever really watched us or like gave us respect or treated us
it's
like
rare.
Good. Like I sold 100 tickets for those motherfuckers most of the time. And that's why I stopped playing those shows, to be honest. Sorry guys. That's why I stopped playing those shows. And you know, I would tell a lot of local bands to just stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's worth the fucking stress. And
book your own shows.
Book your own shows and just be the nuts. You know what I mean? You don't need to open for shows. For national bands that have draw anyway, you know what I mean, and it's like it was like lame to put $100 tickets worth of money in their fucking pocket, and then you get like a 15-minute set, and they're shitting on you to get off stage and yelling at you, and like, and it's just a weird experience. Yeah. I've had all of the worst experiences I've ever had playing a show was opening for a national act, easily. Yeah.
They bring a whole lot of stress. You can tell there's a lot of stressed out
like
people.
Overstress.
Burnt out.
It's unnecessary amount of stress.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've had some pretty stressful experiences doing that. You get rushed off stage. But, you know, they're deep in.
It's like a pyramid scheme, though. Of exposure.
It is.
Dude, think about the exposure. Right. And the other thing is that most of the people are smoking cigarettes during your set, or they're looking at their phones, or they're fucking buying merch from the big band that they're there to see, or they're getting a drink. You're lucky if you catch 10, 20 eyeballs and ear holes. You know what I mean? It's just as growing up, that was like the focus for a while. Like I remember when we were so like tunnel vision.
Sure.
On like, oh, we're opening for Whitechapel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like what does that kind of shit net you other than like a bucket list? It's like a selfish bucket list thing, which is fine. I have a hit list of bands that I want to tour with and play with, and I got to check a lot of those boxes off. But anyway, so that was your last show that you went to. And so we talked about your first show that you played and the last show that you went to. What was the last show that you played?
Last show that I played was in December or something.
And that was with Grim Salvo, with the rap project.
Yeah, that was a Grim Salvo thing.
Okay.
That was at a weird little venue called Rainbow City that I've never been to before.
People, I like that vibe though.
I do too.
It's very speakeasy.
Yeah.
Like they don't give a shit if they get shut down.
Secret door. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. They're just fucking doing whatever they want in there.
Yeah.
I really love it.
No, it was very cool, and it was a fun time. It was very different than.
It was so speakeasy.
Yeah,
it felt like an underground rave.
Yeah.
Like when I went to a rap show there too.
Yeah.
2 Mags and A couple other guys were playing.
Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time I've ever been there, and I was like, this place is sketchy, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like in a good way.
It's got some edge.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything business-wise with them, like that you were worried about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like get paid up front or something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
yeah. But yeah, that was the last show I played, and it's very different from a metal show, in a lot of ways.
Was that your first hip-hop show? As a hip-hop guy?
As playing one, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What was that like in comparison to... Because you're normally, for people that don't know, you do guitar and you sing mainly, but also scream a little bit when you're doing your metal stuff.
Sure.
And you've done other non-metal stuff. You've played bass in a band. You've played probably everything but drums in a band.
Yeah.
Keys. But you've been in a lot of projects throughout the years. But you're doing hip hop now.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
So but this is your first time just being up there with a microphone.
Yeah, it was weird.
You were wearing like a mask.
Yeah, I was wearing a mask.
You were wearing a costume. Like
I was all decked out.
You were charactered, Mossbacked out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it was fucking sick. I liked it a lot. It's a lot of different energy, it's a lot less of like, am I playing this riff perfectly to all these dudes with their arms crossed who are just going to see my mistakes anyway, kind of a thing. And a lot more like, oh, if I vibe out here strongly, they will vibe as well.
Right. And hip hop shows are a lot of like lip syncing and screaming on top of your music, right?
Yeah.
Like, isn't the song with you recorded on it? I'm sorry, I sound like a boomer, but the song with you recorded on it is going in the background, and you're kind of ad-libbing the song and then doing parts. It's so different.
It's loose.
The stuff in metal, like, it would be crucified if you did that in metal. You cannot ever dare.
Right.
Even some of the backing tracks people have are sus a little bit.
Right. Like, people shit on having backing tracks at all.
But at the same time, it's like, is that stupid? Like, at what point is that just elitist metal shit? Are you even playing your parts, dude?
It is. It is elitist. Yeah. No, and I mean, like, I've seen shows and bands where it's like half of it's on a backing track, and it's not like there's anything bad about backing tracks per se, but it's like, like, this is not as cool as if it was just kind of like a raw thing. And then same with rap, dude.
Depends on how it's mixed sometimes.
It does depend on how it's mixed. But like same with rap, like, and for that show we did just like, we were just playing the MP3s of the songs,
Fuck yeah.
And
that's what rap shows should do. It's just,
I mean, I don't agree. Like, I can't wait to get to the point to where we're not doing that. But I feel
like you go to see the biggest rappers though. You go see J. Cole and these big rappers. Yeah. Are they not playing? They have the song going. Kendrick has the song going.
I mean, Kendrick, I think, does his, and Drake too. Like, to their credit, I think they do their own vocals live.
I think so too. Actually, now that I saw Drake live because I'm a huge Drake fanboy.
Yeah,
so kill me. Metal scene can come at me. I don't care. But I love Drake. But it's and I saw him live, and I was the cross-armed elitist metal kid
watching
when I went to Drake's show, and I was like, whatever. I've been listening to this album a lot. I'm gonna pay the $100. I think it was $170 to go see this. It was just general admission.
Was the Moda?
Yeah, Tacoma Dome. So we drove to Tacoma, and
cool.
We went with a big group of people. It was fun, but when I got out of there, I was like, I would have paid double to sit in the same spot.
You did every word.
I was GA, and I was as far from you or far from like the door as Drake. Like, it was like a huge place, and it was packed, but you could kind of get through, and like everybody was chilling. It was wild. It was like 2017 or 18 or something, but one of the best concert experiences I've ever had.
Cool.
And it was like, I wouldn't expect. I went in there like, what's this rap show gonna be like? And you know what I mean? How good can Drake even be live? And he's probably just gonna lip sync. And I think you're right. I think he was mainly, there's a lot of effects and crazy shit on his voice, but a lot of production goes into it. But he's definitely not playing the song.
Yeah.
Whereas you go see, I don't know. I've been to a lot of shows where they are doing that.
Same.
Like, that's a big thing.
Same.
That's a big thing.
There'll be big acts that do that.
Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That they're.
So I know what you're talking about.
Like Freddie Gibbs, even. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I've seen Freddie twice. I think he's because he'll cut the beat out. Freddie Gibbs is a cut the beat out guy when he plays live, and so he'll cut the beat out and go a cappella for like bars, and the whole crowd is screaming it with him, and there's no beat.
Hell yeah.
It's kind of tight, actually. Yeah, you should do that.
We should do that. We should do that.
But
yeah,
the rap show, so
it's different, you know.
It's less stress.
Less and more. I mean, like, it was just a completely different thing. Like, I was like, what am I going to do with my hands? You know?
The Ricky Bobby.
What do I do with my hands, dude?
This.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's basically what it turned out to be. And
basically your first time ever doing what I do.
Yeah.
Being a vocalist.
Yeah, totally.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's
cool.
You
scream at all, too? In the Grim Salvo?
Yeah. But just, just kind of like here and there. Patty's mainly the screamer.
Right.
You know, he's mainly the scream dog.
Scream doggy.
Yeah, but it was a lot different, and I can't wait to kind of like bring more of like what we're good at into the live situation, which is like live instruments and stripping back the backing tracks. But we had like very short notice, and we're like, why put this extra stress on ourselves? This like that comes from the metal world of like trying to make everything perfect,
Right.
Yeah,
Which I mean, we should focus less on that.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I think in the metal stuff as well.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think that there's currently like kind of a backlash to all of the perfection that's been going on in metal for the past like years and years. And that's why there's like, you see all this like old school death metal resurgence type stuff going on where it's like bands that aren't even recording to a click track and stuff like that.
Right.
Just like caveman riffs, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it sounds sick as fuck live, and it doesn't. You're not like worried about playing it perfectly and stuff, and that's coming from a dude where with the Odious, like all that shit is very technical.
When you and I were growing up playing music and being in bands, it was all we were here for the climax and the decline, which I think we're still currently on, of the prog era.
Right, yeah,
where everyone's trying to be in a bam 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 fucking genty band.
Right.
And they're all trying to have the instrumental breaks like Periphery where they
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like they're all trying to have super high pitched clean singing.
Right.
And they're all trying, and it's like a formula cookie cutter thing where it started off as like that was an original thing.
Yeah.
Like when we heard Periphery do it, we were like, oh my God. But then it's like anything else, it's like, well, really like Fell Silent did it before them, but Periphery like made it like mainstream. They're kind of the best and worst thing that ever happened to metal in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like I love those guys. It's no shade on them, and they're a great example of how to run your music like a business. But it's like they kind of created this cookie cutter thing that everybody went after, or they might have not created it, but they made it big.
They popularized
it. Yeah. Like they did what Meshuggah did to metal, to like genty metalcore with singing and
the gent.
Yeah,
the gent wave.
So many bands went after that.
Yeah.
With the one word plural band name.
Right.
And the fucking,
Yeah.
But coming from that, it's like now we're seeing like what you said, where the bands that are getting big, that what people want to hear, it was like that was so noisy to a lot of people.
Right.
And we all a lot of us kind of regressed into either, darker, heavier shit like some of the stuff you listen to, or like on the more overproduced side, like the Spite stuff. I mean, they're not overproduced. I don't want to throw shade on them like that, but I'm just saying,
so like raw, so like
they're
some raw
still
shit
raw,
in there.
But like good, it's good production. Though.
It is
like
good
it's
production.
It's not the intentionally like
it's not like a basement recording.
Right. It's not like a grindcore type record. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's like, but you see the writing going in a more caveman kind of brutal, like just heavy way, rather than trying to make it pretty or something. You know what I mean? Like
or perfect.
Yeah. And there was like this happy medium, dude. On the way back from tour, on the last drive, I stayed up pretty late and I was listening to Tyler, our photographer guy, and our merch guy. He is super young. He's like 22. You know what I mean? So he actually like had never heard Rare Form by After the Burial.
Oh shit. He's
like into metal and stuff, but he's into like Thy Art Is Murder and like bands that are kind of where those bands are at, not on the popularity scheme. And so I showed him like Rare Form, and
you showed him the re-recorded version.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I showed him the newer one.
Yeah.
And we were just like sitting there listening, and it was the first time I'd gone through it in a long time. And it's like, dude, that's the type of shit that I came up on, and it still is like, this was some of the best shit that's ever come out, dude. I don't know when the last time you visited that was, but it's worth a revisit. And I thought I've heard it enough times. I thought since it came out in 2009 that I've heard it enough times. No way, dude. And there was this happy medium that Burial had, for example, where they were mixing like the melodic stuff in with like the the like heavy bouncy stuff, and it was like Periphery but less melodic, but still because they had like the you know,
swang.
like this like happy metal. It was like happy metal on some of their parts, and it was like that just kind of ended up going super melodic, and then it was like then we're all listening to Pliny, and then it's like, is this even metal anymore?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it like digressed to what you're talking about.
I have this debate with my homie Jeremy all the time where I tell him like we grew up in the golden age of metal.
Yes.
Like it was objectively the best.
I agree.
And he's like, no. Well, hold on. Okay. He has some good points. His point.
Jeremy's not an idiot.
He's not an idiot.
He's a smart guy.
He's not an idiot.
He knows music.
Yeah, and he's like, because obviously he loves all the same shit that we do, but he's like, no, I think that it was the age that we were at. You're like, whenever you are that age, that is where you're like, you're smart enough to be getting new shit. You're taking a peek into the brand new world. You know what I mean? You're taking a peek into the brand new world, and you're like, what's this? What's this? When you're fucking 14 to like 18, you know, like shit will have a insane impact on you, you know? And so that's his thing. But I'm like, I would say, sir.
I like the smart.
It is very smart.
Idea.
It is very smart.
It's a very psychological analysis.
And it's true.
Of
like,
why we think that our music is the pinnacle or the best.
I think it is. I think it is true, but it's true insofar as like that does happen to people that age. But I think that even so, that doubles up with the fact that objectively, fucking 2008 was to like 2009 was probably like the greatest year in metal.
I think that it also is about who's setting trends and who's trying to jump on them. Who's creating waves of style, of types of sound, and who's trying to jump on them. Because for every wave that Burial made, for example, or the Faceless or Born of Osiris or whatever, and that was all a clique of like 10 people. That was like you and me and Garrett. And that was like
the Sumerian
that was like a group of friends
gang. Yeah,
if you think about it,
yeah.
Really, that was a close. Michael Keane wrote The New Rain. We all know that. You know what I mean, or helped write it, or whatever.
And
produce
with
it, write it,
Common Man's collapse.
And Common Man's. We all. That's all pub. That's not a conspiracy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm sure he had a hand in fucking
spread misinformation right now.
I'm spreading misinformation, dude. That's my goal
like
with
peanut
this podcast.
Butter on toast.
That's my. I'm an alt podcast. My goal is actually
your goal is misinformation. Yeah.
So that's the title of my album, our EP product. And by the way, I was on the hype train of misinformation way before misinformation was in the news.
You were into misinforming.
Before Joe Rogan was spreading misinformation. Right. Your boy had an EP titled "Product of Misinformation." So look me up.
Wow.
Give me the timestamp, bitch.
You're just putting it out there.
At the time.
You're just putting it out there for everyone to see.
I'm kidding.
Product of misinformation. That's like what it's like what the Illuminati does, where they just put it out in front of you.
Was I not on that shit?
You were on that shit.
On that shit. And the album cover, go look at it. It's a brain in a jar with a barcode on it.
It is.
Your brain is fucking for sale, bitch.
It is, dude.
We're all products of misinformation.
Yeah, except for me, dude.
Except for you.
I got all the facts straight.
You got all the facts.
I got all my facts.
You are a fact checker.
Russia, Ukraine, dude. I know what's going on.
You work for Facebook.
Yeah.
You just
the vaccine, dude. I'm an expert in all that shit.
You're an expert.
Yeah.
But I saw a meme the other day that's like the guy with the coffee cup, you know,
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know the meme. I think I know the meme that you're talking about.
He's like this, and it's like, I'm done being a vaccine expert.
Yeah.
I'm now an expert on geopolitics or the war in Russia or whatever.
So funny.
Which, by the way,
I don't even want. I don't want
to talk about it really.
I want to talk about talking about it though.
I don't know anything about it really, so I'm just kind of like digesting the whole thing. And I think it's okay. Listen, this is what people need to be okay with. Listen, giving you the finger. People need to be okay with just being like, I don't know shit.
Yeah. That's
why. And I know people are gonna hate me or whatever say about Rogan, but you're an idiot. Honestly, go listen to 100 episodes of Joe Rogan, then you tell me something. I've listened to him for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've listened to Joe Rogan for 5 years. But he's not a bad person, and he literally just doesn't. He's like a nubile mind. He's like, I don't know anything about this. Tell me about it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like that's the point. It's like people need to be okay with being like, I don't know shit about this. Yeah. I will be the first one to be like, hey, I don't know shit about this. So I'm not really gonna like talk like I know stuff about it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to be like, oh cool, I learned something, than to be like, I was wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? And my opinion I thought was educated was wrong. But like with the Ukraine thing, it's just so complex, and like I don't really get it, and like it just seems like a lot of fucked up shit doesn't need to be happening. So you know, anyone in Ukraine, I don't know how many people from Ukraine are going to hear this or whatever, but goddamn, that sucks. And support them in any way that you can, and whatever, you know. I don't know how, I don't trust donating to stuff a lot of the time, because it's like, where does the money go?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I wish our Ukrainian group could give me their Cash App so I know it's going to fucking Ukraine. You know what I mean? But even then, it's just so hard when you're, how do you support, what are we supposed to fucking do about it? You know, and that's kind of I think that's why people get all kind of stir crazy about that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That they don't understand, because it's like, what are we supposed to do? We have all this like care. We care about it so much.
There's so many things like that in the world today too, because it's like you get all this information, and none of it is actually like surrounding you in your day-to-day life, and you're like, oh, I'm upset about this, but I don't know what to do.
Right. I'm passionate about this, and I got this thing where I can like see it, or I can consume it all.
Right.
But I can't. I'm on my couch and I'm watching TV.
Very frustrating.
I'm playing video games. Yeah. We're having just fine, and people in Ukraine are fucking getting firebombed. And shit. It's all fucked up.
I was at the bar a couple nights ago, and I was hanging out with some homies, and drinks were had, and then all of a sudden there was a heated geopolitical debate going down. God. Heated geopolitical debate.
Why does that happen?
Dude, I don't know. It's so it was so funny to me though, because like I've definitely been that person.
People I know?
You have at least met one of them. But it was funny because I kind of like, once this started going down, I like got my other homie, and I was like, let's catch up, dude. Like, let's talk about stuff that we know about, because even these people who are like, you know, they read some articles, watched some YouTube videos, I don't know, they've seen some shit.
None of which you can ever trust anymore.
Right, exactly.
Fucking
But they got balls deep in these, you know, they were pulling out the hand karate chop motions.
They were chopping their hand.
They were pulling the karate chop motions. Yeah, dude. It got heated, and I just kept like looking over and just like cracking up, because I was like, isn't this just the perfect representation, you know,
what Americans do, or what people that aren't in that country?
I mean, America's probably, I don't want to throw great fucking America under the bus, you know, but
I'm a proud American.
I'm a proud American.
I don't give a fuck. You can call me a fucking, you know, conservative or whatever you want to call me.
You fucking conservative.
You fucking nationalist. You call me whatever you want. I fucking love this country. My parents went to war.
Dude, we started talking about how much I love this country. I'm going to cry right now.
Dude, I will get into it on the pod. This is my platform. Okay. And I will gas up America all day long. And it has its problems, but that we got a lot less problems than a lot of people, motherfucker. So you better suck it up and enjoy. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourself. So have yourself a slice of American pie, because it's fucking sweet. And you could look at what's happening in fucking Russia, Ukraine, and you tweet about it on your smartphone and complain with your blue hair that you hate fucking America and whatever. That's what you get. That's what's on the other side. So it's like, I think we have a great life here, and I'm passionate about it.
No, I know it's funny. I believe it. I just love you getting fired up about it.
What's funny is how negative that's become.
I know.
What's funny is how negative that the media has twisted it, or somebody fucking, I don't know who twisted it.
Someone twisted it.
Somebody twisted the nipples of America and turned them purple, and it's like, you can't love America.
My nipples are hurting right now, dude.
Bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you can call it my programming then, and it's my truth. It's my truth that America's great. It's my truth and my programming, because I grew up with Love America. I said the Pledge of Allegiance every morning at school. Like, we fucking love America out here, son. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay. And I can lose followers, and they can fucking suck me, because America's the shit. But you know, we have our problems. Our fucking media and our government is fucked right now.
There's problems.
And it's always gonna be problems. But life here is good, and you gotta be grateful for what you got, man.
Very true.
You gotta be grateful for what you got here.
Yeah.
And you don't see enough videos, I guess, of people. If you're ungrateful, you don't see enough videos of people living in other places and the shit that they go through, because we got it pretty fucking good here, you know. But anyway, I always do this on this podcast where I'll get like way off topic, and then I want to go back to like some music stuff.
All right, yeah.
So when I was saying like, you can talk to like your best friends, you know, like I just talked to Blaine, right? And I've known him since he was 4 years old, and I was like 6, and that's when I met him, and I still had no idea like the story of like how he picked up a guitar. And so that's what I'm really finding out of like all these music people. Like, I don't know shit about you when it comes to your origin story. So like how did you start doing any musical thing? What was the first musical thing that you remember ever doing, and because it is your identity. You are the music man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you might go off and do other things, and you might be into barbecue or into cooking or doing your thing, but you're the music guy.
Right.
More than I am even a music guy. Right. You're the fucking music dude. And nobody loves music as much as you. So I'm interested in knowing, like, how did that start off, you know?
Yeah. No, my earliest memory musically was when I was probably like 2 or 3. I would get up on this little, like, I don't know, breakfast nook thing that my parents had at their house at the time. And I would, like, lip sync to Pavarotti. You know Pavarotti, the opera singer?
No, I don't know.
I don't know. They would play him, and I would just get up, and I would just be like,
that seems very your parents to be listening to opera.
Yeah, they were playing opera, and I would get up on there, and I would pretend I was motherfucking Pavarotti, and I would just be up there and just be like, this is what I love, you know? And I would always do that. And then, you know, my parents, I guess, have, like, videos of it or something, because they'll always tell me about it. But, and then...
we got to get those videos.
I know.
Get them off the camcorder.
I know. There's going to be some conversion that needs to happen. But after that...
So you were always destined to be a singer then?
I don't know. Maybe.
You know, like, my buddy Epp that I just had on the podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to that podcast or not.
I did not.
You should. It's good. Actually, it's good because he kind of relates music to hip-hop or metal to hip-hop. Like, we talk about the differences.
Yeah, for sure.
And similarities. But he said that he used to set up action figures and do concerts to Whitney Houston when he was like 7 years old.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like, it all starts with that. Like, you want to be like on a stage.
Right. Yeah.
So crazy. You must have seen a video. You
had to
have seen a video or something.
Yeah. Something.
And you were how old? Like, roughly?
That was real young. That was like 2 to 4. Wow. Like, I was young to the point where it's just like silly and cute.
Straight out of the womb.
Yeah. And
that's
so
talent. Imagine seeing your fucking kid doing that. You're just like,
yeah,
you are just getting started, young man.
Yeah. I know. It had to be crazy.
Blue-eyed, red-haired.
I know. Little ginger terror. But yeah, dude. And then eventually I would always just I just gravitated towards it. Yeah, I love the whole performing. I loved like dancing and shit like that and just having like attention on me.
Let's go dance, dude.
I know.
If we had any clubs here, it's not a club scene.
It's not really a club scene.
Let's go to Austin and fucking find a place to dance. Let's do it.
All right. I need to get back into it, you know. Because this was before I had like...
good cardio. Do you know salsa?
This is before I have learned salsa before.
Dude, there's a place down the street that does salsa like every couple nights, and it's like a big deal. Like, a lot of people go do salsa.
That'd be cool.
Just find a partner and do salsa with them.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll drink tequila while I watch you do salsa.
You're not gonna do salsa with me?
No, I'm not gonna do salsa.
Oh, come on.
I don't know salsa.
Yeah, it's just some footwork.
Maybe you can teach me salsa.
It's just some steps.
Maybe you can teach me salsa.
I mean, there's some people who are probably more qualified to do that, but
maybe. They kind of teach you there a little bit. They
I'm sure.
Give you a rundown and then start the salsa night.
Cool.
But anyway, so dancing.
Yeah, I would dance and stuff. Yeah, dance and sing when I was a kid.
What was the first instrument memory?
I was
like, for me, I started with music. I think the first instrument I ever played was trumpet, and like, but it was always to get to drums because they're like, you can't start on drums in middle school. They're like, you must start on a brass, or a wind. You pick your clarinet or your trombone or your trumpet. And so I picked the trumpet, but it was always to get to drums. Yeah. It was the drums were the light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
I knew that if I could play drums at school, school would be more fun.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I knew that, but
that would get you through.
I never really got there, but that's okay.
Well, guitar I probably started at 8 or 9.
Was that the first instrument though?
I mean, yeah.
Because for Blaine, it was like clarinet or something.
I mean, there was like recorder in music class.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
No.
So that was my first instrument.
Everybody learns hot cross. If you didn't learn hot cross buns on the recorder, I'd like to see like some statistics on like how
you're just a drug addict in a ditch. All the people, all the homeless people haven't learned
on the recorder. Then you fucking have serious problems.
Yeah, your life's a mess.
All of the problems related to like homelessness and like drug abuse, it's all whether or not they fucking learned hot cross buns.
Oh my god,
that's what it is.
And they're not teaching it anymore. Because did you know Hot Cross Buns is actually a Civil War song of the South?
Yeah, it's a Confederate.
It's a Confederate anthem, dude. Yeah, so you know who's making those buns? You know who's making those hot cross buns?
Made those hot cross
Who was
buns?
making those buns?
That's so funny. Dude. So funny. Hot cross buns. Get it out of our schools right now. Hot cross buns.
What's fucked up is like
It's probably not entirely wrong.
I don't know.
I
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, but then guitar at like 8 or 9 was like the first instrument I started
Acoustic?
like taking. No, electric.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents let me just fucking go for it. And I remember I got
Scales,
one for my birthday.
Lessons.
Yeah, I got some lessons. Yeah, dude, I got lucky with my guitar teacher. I got really lucky because I didn't have to do any of that. He was just like, bring me a song that you like. And I was like, I like Smells Like Teen Spirit, by Nirvana.
Nice.
I mean, it was grunge and shit like that at first. And he would just bring it in and just like teach it to me. And he'd figure it out by ear in front of me and then like tab it out and then teach it to me. And there was no like, whoa. I was like, this dude's a fucking magician.
How long did you get lessons from him for?
Oh man, for a while, probably like 5-6 years. I went for a while, like through the different musical styles until the end. I was bringing him like, like the faceless and shit. Right. Well, maybe not quite the faceless, but like I was bringing him like some like death,
newer metal stuff.
Yeah, heavier shit that I was getting into.
More technical stuff.
Yeah, heavier shit. And
was there a point where he was like, "You got to find another guy"? Or like?
No, he ended up moving to Seattle, and he was always like into it because he was a jazz dude, and they just like know all their shit.
He shreds. He's like Austin.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, "Oh, interesting. Here's what they're doing. This is actually in 7/8, and then blah blah blah." But I won't bore you with that. We'll just tab it out, and that's why I always loved. And I think that honestly gave me a leg up in certain ways, and then it's a disadvantage in other ways because I never really learned theory, and I was able to establish my whole like musical ideas without really touching theory, in a big way, which is cool because it was my ear, Yeah, it's a debate because like
a lot of the theory guys are worthless without a fucking piece of sheet music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, do you want to be? It's like when you're playing a video game where you have to like give your character skill points and like certain attributes. And it's like, do you want him to be better at sword fighting or magic?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's like kind of the same thing because it's like sword fighting would be your fucking sheet music and magic is just being able to hear it and fucking, do you want to level up in magic or do you want to level up in sword fighting or do you want to stay balanced and do both,
Yeah, they both have their uses for sure.
For sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I also think like when it comes to like writing, fuck theory, dude. Fuck it.
Right,
follow your ear.
Follow your heart.
Follow your heart and your ear.
It's all here and here, dude.
Yeah, but and then I don't know. The rest is just kind of history. And then I just started. I would always just like learn other people's music. Just learn as many songs as you can. That's always.
So
I think that's the best.
Was Nirvana the first song you learned? The Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, or like Polly maybe. I remember for my 5th grade sweetheart.
You're a big Nirvana guy.
Oh, it's big. Yeah, Nirvana, grunge.
No, I mean I think it's fine, but I obviously.
Are you one of these like the Beatles are overrated type people?
No. I think it's kind of Jeremy's. It's a mixture of like not Jeremy's. It's what you think. It's like where it's like the era, and I just kind of like I remember coming up and listening to Nirvana and really liking them, and I probably had a Nirvana. I was into sweatbands when Hot Topic was a thing, so I probably had the little smiley face like a little Nirvana sweatband, because I was never sweating either. I was like a chubby, not working out, not doing anything kind of kid. I wasn't sweating.
It was
at
a
all.
fashion.
It was a fashion thing.
Yeah.
I had a green 1-Up mushroom from Mario one. I was like, what's up?
Yeah.
Sweatbands were tight.
No sweat's getting.
I was tight. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But yeah, I was never a Nirvana fan. And then when I grew up, I was like, I don't really enjoy this, but I love it for what it did. I love the era. I think people get really excited and encapsulated in like the footage of that era and the pictures and like the fashion and like how it came from the hair metal in the 80s where everything was glammed up and it was like the raw stripped down version of it. That's my synopsis of like why it's so popular.
Sure.
To me, like it's just, you put on Come As You Are or It Smells Like Teen Spirit, I'm going to be like, yeah, this is an old song that I like, you know what I mean? But it's like, to me, it's not, I don't like it as much as I like, if I'm talking about older stuff, maybe like Journey or like classic rock Kansas and classic rock shit. Yeah. I know it's kind of stupid to compare those two things, and they've always been, they weren't even my favorite grunge band. I think Alice in Chains is the superior grunge band. I mean, in my opinion.
I agree.
Which you don't have to measure dicks, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But to me, their music is just, as far as a hit list for me personally, of like fucking banger tracks. It's like every song Alice in Chains ever released was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
and then Nirvana had the hits. But
yeah.
Anyway, was that the first song? You think that was the first song you learned?
Well, I one of them, because one of my first memories of like performing, we would always learn songs for the talent show.
Finish that.
And I would make songs for the talent show in 4th and 5th grade. Like 4th grade is when I first started a band.
Okay.
And I had all my friends, and I was like, we're playing.
Dude, I wish I fucking got started that early. That's so early.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
So
I
early.
knew what I fucking wanted to do, and I was like, David, you're not fucking playing drums or playing keyboard, because clearly Drake has more rhythm than you. You know what I mean? And I would get in trouble with kids' parents.
Fucking James Hetfield.
Dude, I was like, dude, I was kicking people out,
in 4th
dude.
Grade, kicking people out.
I was kicking people out of the band.
Drunk on Sunny D. Just
I was like, Mom,
I
don't know what to do. Like,
everyone sucks.
Kyle sucks. Yeah, like they won't take this seriously. You know, you know, they don't practice. You know.
Yes, you're a businessman.
Yeah, they don't take it seriously, and But yeah, so we would play like medleys, and we did like Smells Like Teen Spirit and like The Offspring and shit like that. But like one of the first songs I learned was probably Polly by Nirvana, and I remember playing it.
I don't even know how that song goes.
It's a good song. It's like Polly wants a cracker. Okay. Think I should get off her first. And so at first you're like when in my 5th grade mind, I was like, oh, this is like a nice song that he's singing to a lady. And so I learned it, and I sang it to my 5th grade sweetheart at this party in front of everybody, you know? And I got a kiss after that, dude. I got a smooch. I peaked.
Ballin'.
I peaked at that moment in 5th grade. It will not get better than that. I should
have prepared better and gotten pictures of you from when you were young.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where to find
There's
those.
some epic ones out there. I don't know either, really. God. My mom's house probably.
Oh man.
But then I found out afterwards, because she told me, she's like, hey, I told my mom about that. My mom says that song's about like a serial rapist. It's about a guy who keeps women like in his basement and torches them with a blowtorch. And I was like, it is?
Oh my God.
And then I look back in the lyrics, I'm like, it is.
But I love you. I love any of that.
Yeah. No, that just made it better, you know.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, so that's a funny performance thing that happened. And yeah, Nirvana is fucking sick, and you know, the Beatles are sick, and any band that gets like too much hype, it's like people are going to be like, I think they're overrated. I think there's too much hype. And I'll be like, I agree. I think that now it's become more than what it was. But I think the initial thing that got them there, like there's some value there, you know, there's some value, even if you're not into grunge, even if you're not into like the 60s kind of music, like it's not like they're just dog shit and then they just get hyped up out of nothing. Like there's some sick music there, but then it becomes like a brand. It becomes like Nirvana t-shirts. There's rappers wearing the Nirvana t-shirts. Once people are identifying with the fashion rather than the music, that's when you get all the posers, and that's when it becomes very annoying. Okay. And now the fans are annoying me and turning me off from even liking Nirvana or the Beatles, you know?
Right.
But really, like, the thing that's there, if you strip it of all the fucking cultural context, it's like usually there's something great.
Right.
You know?
And
usually there's something good.
What I always try to say to people when they're like,
I'll finish this.
Yeah, when they're like, do you like so-and-so? Do you like Nirvana? You know what I mean? Or nobody asks me that because everybody assumes you like Nirvana.
Right.
And I'll be like, I'm not really a huge like fan. Like I probably would never put it on. You know what I mean? To be honest. And they're like, you don't like Nirvana? And it's like, no, but here's what I always say is that I respect what they have done for music. Yeah. And I have that a lot with a lot of people where like I respect.
Cheers to that, brother.
Yeah, but I respect, what they do for their era. So I do it again.
Got my eye on you. It's all good.
But yeah, I respect what they did for whatever era. Like, it's all groundbreaking stuff. Mm-hmm. Nobody had ever done what Nirvana did or the Beatles did or these people, and that's why they're fucking so hyped up and why their shit is eternally listened to. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
And you look at it like iconic, like music icons aren't really made like that anymore. And in the way that like, not in the way that Nirvana and the Beatles have, and even since like, and you could say that like, oh, well, somebody's going to be an icon in 10 years or 20 years from now, but that's not happened yet in our lifetime, really. Except for hip-hop artists, I would say, and pop.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like rock and roll.
Sure.
And like metal even. And metal, yes, to us in our niche genre, under our umbrella, in our bubble.
Who would you say is a metal icon? Like who would you say?
From
like
art? Yeah. Or from any time?
No, from like within our lifetimes, like who do you think we're going to be looking back on in like 20 years and being like, oh, fuck.
Like Opeth is already getting that kind of clout. And they've been around for a long time even.
Sure.
But like that's like the newest, I think, is like Opeth, Meshuggah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And I would honestly say Periphery too. They've made a huge stir, a huge, you know, shook it all up.
Absolutely. Massive impact.
And to be honest, like, and this might be bias and niche because I grew up, this is like my era talking like Jeremy, you know, Jeremy's point.
Sure.
But like Volumes, and I've talked to Gus about this too, which was like, because right after Diego passed away, rest in peace, it was like we were talking about, he was just like going off, and I was like, dude, you know, you and your brother created a subgenre of a subgenre that everyone wanted to be. Like, I think we'll look back on that first two shit that they did, the first two albums they did, Via and Concept with Remy or whatever, and it's like after they did that push, it was like Meshuggah came out, all the bands that are like a couple years older than us, like people that are in their late 30s right now, like Periphery and those guys, they all kind of they took what Meshuggah did and were super influenced, and then they made that kind of super popular. And then I feel like Diego and the Volumes dudes, they took that and did their own little spin on it.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, one word plural band names everywhere.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, sure.
And I almost don't think they get enough credit.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't necessarily think their music is the same now. I did like their last album. They just released this fucking. It's like
Happy?
Pop banger. Yeah, it's
Happy?
like pop bangers
Cool.
and like some heavy stuff on there. It's really good.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's like on a smaller level, maybe you know, kind of iconic in the subgenre. But like on a big scale, it's hard to say.
No, I think that's all.
I mean, maybe
accurate.
Maybe Gojira.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Trivium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I'm
none
just curious.
of those bands are fucking ever going to be on Metallica level.
Right.
Like, to be that band, to be as big as Trivium is, and then you open up for somebody like Metallica, because those bands have played with Metallica and shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Yes. Iconic.
Sure.
Icons.
Yeah.
But you look at those bands, and even Lamb of God, they look up at Metallica and go, never. I will never, ever amount to that. That is just, they were in a time and place, bro. And
They
you
were.
go look at those.
I love me some Metallica,
Dude, do you remember seeing them live?
Yeah.
We weren't together, but we were both there.
We were both at that show.
Was that your first time?
See Metallica? Yeah.
Dude, I was blown away.
Oh, yeah.
It was teardrops.
Oh,
Me and my dad were hugging
I
each
shed
other.
a tear during Fade to Black for sure.
Oh, I shed a tear during Nothing Else Matters.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah, dude.
Come on, dude.
No, it's great.
They played
great
every
shit.
fucking song
They did.
that mattered.
They killed it. They
played like 2 new songs that nobody knew.
Yeah.
Off the new album.
When I took a little
released.
break. Took a little break during those songs. You know.
Dude, and then they just came. It was sick.
It was, dude. And
was
yeah,
really
Metallica's
sick.
so fucking cool. And they're another band like Nirvana and the Beatles where it is, you're right, it's like right place, right time.
Right.
You know?
Their music to me is a little more, kind of holds up. Like, it's more interesting still, like, for me compared to, like, I guess it's just different genres and you can't be comparing people. At a certain point, you can't fucking compare art to art. You know what I mean? But, like, their music holds up even better than
you like it more.
I like it more personally.
Yeah.
I think the riffs are just more interesting.
Dude, the
and
riffs.
They were more.
If we're talking riffs.
They're more time proof.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Than like some of the Beatles stuff was very like rudimentary. You know what I mean? And same with Nirvana. It was like a lot of 4/4 kind of. You know, I guess it's all kind of 4/4 stuff. But I don't even know how to put it because I'm not a music major. I don't know shit about music. But it's like.
Well, you know,
I have guerrilla education about music.
No, but I know what you mean. But I think it is half just taste. It's like what you like. But you know, Metallica, they brought a degree of like technicality to the wider stage that was existing in metal and thrash metal.
Yeah.
Playing fast, fucking down picking as fast as James Hetfield was.
With bands like the Misfits.
Yeah, and Guns N' Roses and shit.
Think about how they shit on those bands. At those shows.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you play a show or you see a show where you're like, man, that band just shit on Like the whole like this is the best. This is they stole the show. They stole the show. You know what I mean? Like how many times because when I went to that Metallica show, my dad like balled out and paid for like the VIP tickets.
Yeah, you guys. I remember going up. I remember going up the escalator, and you guys were like, "We're down here."
Oh.
Or wait,
I can't remember what happened, but we were.
You guys got good seats.
They had this museum set up.
Oh yeah.
For VIP.
Yeah.
And you walk around, and basically they gave a road case for each member, and each member put like it. There was like you pulled out the drawer of it was like an interactive scrapbook thing. So you pull out the drawer, and there's like bulletproof glass, and then all this stuff in each.
In
drawer.
case of Metallica fans, like fuck this. Bah, 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 bah.
Well, no, just so people wouldn't steal stuff.
I know, I'm
because
just joking.
it's like original set list.
Yeah, no.
And like in James Hetfield's, it was like lyrics that he had written on like. And you got to think about these people are so fucking famous that that shit is so iconic and important. And I don't even have anything like that for my own legacy.
Right.
I don't have shit like that. I don't have notepads full of my writings that if I ever got multi-million-dollar famous that I could put in a bulletproof glass drawer.
You better start writing.
I better start fucking scribbling.
Yeah, what about that?
No, but it's like it's interesting to just it's such a it was so epic to see like there was one for the drummer, one for the bass player, one for Lars, one for Kirk, one for Robert, one for James, and they all had their own stuff in it, and so it's like all pictures of James and pictures that he wanted to put in there, and it was like so crazy. But some of that stuff that was in there was old show flyers that were like handwritten. Yeah, that was like come see Metallica at this church with the Misfits and whoever else I forget. You know what I mean? And it was like, are you fucking serious?
Crazy.
Nuts.
I remember talking to my friend about this the other day where it was like, imagine being a musician back in the 80s and like, would you still have done it? Would we still be doing it? Because like the barrier to entry back then was so much higher. Right now to be a musician, to be a self-recorded, self-produced, like you do everything as a musician, you need like $3,000. You know, you need $3,000 to buy like a computer, a microphone, a fucking interface, and then some software.
Cheaper ways to do it.
Yeah. You know, $3,000 to do like a nice home studio setup, you know, or a guitar, or whatever the fuck, you know.
Not even too.
Yeah, not even. But like,
you have a cheap computer, like this thing is cheap.
Let's say we're balling out though,
right?
You know, whatever.
I think you could do it for under a G.
Yeah, the point is you can do it. Like that's the barrier to entry.
Accessible.
It's cheap.
Back then it was.
I don't fucking even know how much it was to get studio time.
Wax recordings. Cassettes.
Well,
cassettes,
right? Analog recording where it's all on tape and shit like that. And then imagine the only way that you're going to hear your song is not like if you like play it on the computer back to you in your bedroom. It's if you get all the boys together and convince everyone to play it. That's like the only way that I can like hear this fucking demo. So you got to play it because the only way that people are going to hear you is if you play live. And the only way people are going to come and see you is if you hand out flyers.
Or if you get on the radio.
But that implies you have like a recording available, you know what I mean? Which is huge. Right. Or that you somehow got to like pay for studio time, which was very, very expensive. So it was all live shit, you know? And it was all like hitting the streets, hanging up flyers, talking to people, be like, come on out Friday, you know?
So different. I would love like a movie or something where they like some like kids go back in time.
Yeah.
Like they oh no, they stumble into like a closet that's a time machine.
That'd be so funny.
And it fucking takes them back to the 80s.
That's a great idea. Like having some like now like Generation Z like autistic kids like go back and just fucking like.
What do you mean autistic?
Well, they're all a little bit.
What? Just very hyper talented musicians?
Yeah. I'm saying like they all like social anxiety and shit, and they're all like. I mean, but there are
you gotta be careful with the autism.
What? I got a little tism.
You got a little tism?
I got a little tism.
I don't know.
Autistic. You know what I mean.
Offend anybody.
I don't care.
I mean, I kind of care.
I just don't. I mean, it wasn't him.
You're right. Fuck autistic people. No,
it was me. I'm not saying fuck them, but I'm saying Gen Z, you know, they would all, I think they should wear it as a badge of pride. Like
they're all very talented at like one thing.
Yeah, and you guys are all a little spurged out a little bit, you know. They're a little spurged.
You gotta explain. What's spurged out? I've never heard of that. Steven Spielberg, spurged? What does that mean? What is spurged out?
Like they got some Asperger's a little bit because they spent so much time inside staring at a screen from the day they were born. Yeah. Okay. And so they go outside and they're like, can I talk?
They have no social skills.
Yeah. So we take those kids and we send them in a time machine back
to the 80s.
Yeah, to the 80s. But it's a happy story ultimately, you know, because they're like, oh my God, like we got to hang up flyers. Like, how am I going to do this without my phone? How do I, how am I going to share this? And so you see like
staple guns haven't been invented yet.
Yeah, well, I think they might have staple guns. No, but obviously this is like a fucking, a dumb, retarded idea. But it's like, joking. All I'm saying is that you take these kids and you send them back, and I think it's a great idea for a movie. I think that would be awesome.
I think it'd be cool if it was like a band and they're like practicing and like a leak happens in the roof and it like falls on the guitar equipment and like this big explosion, electric shock, gravitational pull happens or something.
Yes, yeah.
And it's like and then they like wake up and they're like in the practice room in the 80s together, and they're like, what's going on? And they're like, they're dressed different. And like, they don't, it's like a Freaky Friday thing.
No, it'd be amazing.
What I mean? And then like, they go outside and everything's old. And they're like, at least I'm here with my boys. Like, we need to fucking, And somebody comes up to them. It's like, we need a band for a show. And it's like, oh, and it starts falling into place.
That'd be fucking sick.
And then it ends in some like weird dream. Like, it's some weird dream. And
that's how it ends?
And it shows them all that they need to go back to their roots more or something. Because maybe in the beginning they're having trouble like writing or getting along.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. They're having trouble placing.
This is a good idea.
They're having trouble placing the 808. It's so hard to place this 808.
Boom.
Boom.
Where do I want the boom?
Where's the boom go? Or how do I talk about fucking this bitch in this certain way, dude?
First world music writing problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know it's so easy to come off as like boomery, but I don't care. Like, I wish that we could send, myself included, because and I feel personally lucky. I do feel lucky, and I feel like we are in an era, we got born in an era where we are a bridge, We were
100%
are a bridge between generations.
With technology is huge.
Right. Like
so we had a taste of the old world.
Yeah.
And a taste of the new world.
Yeah.
So we have all the, and for people that don't know, I'm like 31 and you're
29.
So it's like, we got all the beauty of the technology that we're you can't give me a piece of technology that I can't just go beep, boop, beep and figure out. I'm going to know how to use any computer or any phone. I'm just as smart as,
right.
a lot of the stuff about a lot of the stuff the younger kids know.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not the difference like our grandparents versus us, right? When they're just like, you hand them a phone and they're like, how do I do this?
But you can also make eye contact with someone. When you talk.
That's actually kind of a skill.
Yeah. You can like talk and hold a conversation.
That's another thing that's cool about these podcasts is I feel like you don't often, and I talked to this about Blaine, like I've known you since you were 4 years old, and how many times have we ever sat down and looked each other in the face, in the eyes, and talked to each other?
Yeah, it's true.
Never.
It's true.
For 2 hours. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like,
I've got a whole.
Because we're just so busy with our friends, and we're doing fun stuff, and it's always like, come hang out, write music, come hang out, party.
You got to be doing something.
It's always kind of something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is why I like doing this, man. So I'm glad you came. It's fun.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little fucking tipsy, honestly.
I mean, that's how it should be. We're having a good time, dude.
Yeah, got that BT on.
So how did we go from? Well, I don't want to skip over the metal stuff. So how did you go from like being this classic rock, grungy, learning Nirvana songs and stuff, playing guitar at lessons? How did you gravitate toward like heavier metal shit? You think it was all kind of like guitar, wanting to learn the next best, hardest, most technical thing, or like where do you think that came from? You might not even be able to answer that. I don't know.
No, I think I got something lined up. I think with heavy music is a little bit, it's addictive, and it's a little like chasing the dragon.
It's a drug.
Yeah. Where it's like, Bleach by Nirvana, that first Nirvana album is heavy, Right. And I remember hearing that and being like a little scared. I was a little scared because what are my parents going to think? And what does this mean? What are they trying to tell me? They sound so angry. Am I that angry? All these sorts of things, right? And that's going through your head, and you hear it for the first time. You don't understand it. You listen to it again, you understand it a little more. Like you can dig through the distortion and the noise and everything. And so then once you've digested it, you're like looking for the next heavier thing. Then you hear Pantera, right? And you're like,
Damn.
That might be the heaviest thing I've ever heard, dude. What the fuck? That just blows that shit out of the water, right?
Dimebag.
That you hear Dimebag, and Dimebag was huge for me. Pantera was huge, and so that was like the next step after Nirvana. And then you start discovering like your, Children of Bodom, Mastodon, Lamb of God, all that shit. And you're like, this shit is even heavier.
It just keeps going.
It just keeps getting heavier.
The further you dig underground in the metal scene.
Yeah.
Or that's how it was at one time.
Yeah. And I mean, like now it's heaviness lies everywhere. But at least back then or whatever, I would listen to something and I would remember not liking it at first, or at least not understanding it and getting that kind of like scared feeling, right? But that was like addicting in some sort of way. Oh, why would you sing like that? Why would you scream like that? How are they doing that? Like,
it's almost like
that sounds like shit. Let me listen to it again, though.
A new word. Like I've always been big on vocabulary. It was like the one thing in school that I just would sit in the corner and like fill out all the books, and I'd be like 7 months ahead of all the other kids. I'd be in book H and they were in book A.
You're like, that's very insalubrious of you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll never forget. Like I learned a word called like pugnacious.
Oh, hell
what I mean? Which I think is a cool word.
What does that mean?
It means like ornery. I think it means like very
pugnacious.
Very pugnacious. Yeah, very hostile. And pugnacious.
Cool.
But I remember like when you learn a word like that, you're kind of like, ugh, like that's not a word that I'm used to. It's a weird word. How do I even pronounce it?
Sure.
How can I
use it?
Work it into sentences?
Yeah.
What does it even mean in context?
Yeah.
And then it's like that's kind of I think that maybe it could be a horrible analogy for
that's great.
for like listening to when the first time you hear Planetary Duality when you're a young kid and all you've been listening to is Korn and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's
yeah, your brain can't comprehend.
You know what I mean? So it's like I mean,
dude, if that's not a little autistic, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I know like so many songs just I can just...
Yeah. Oh, we could both fucking do that shit.
We should be doing this on TikTok, making $1 million.
Oh, my God.
Let's go. Nobody's got the chops that I have.
Oh, my God.
Nobody's got the...
Please. That was pretty good.
Nobody's got the fucking...
The guitar
I can
guitar
play
singing
all of Michael
chops.
Keene's guitar parts on my mouth. What's up, Michael?
Damn.
Step to me.
You probably play it better than he can.
No.
Yeah, he probably can.
Well, I mean...
Come at me. No, come at him, actually.
No, don't come at
me. Come at him.
I love Michael Keene. He's cool.
Me too.
We've had good hangs. I like that guy. But...
No, huge influence.
It is kind of interesting when you're hearing new, heavier, crazier stuff. I remember like, I remember, you know what one of the first songs for me was now that I remember? My buddy, the late Andrew Massett, my friend that passed away.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Andrew. So I used to like have study hall, and there would be times when like my iPod would die. My little iPod Nano or something would die, or I'd left it at home or something. And I would be like, bro, I know you got math coming up. Can I borrow your Zune?
Sure.
Can I borrow your whatever to listen to? And he had all the heat on his Zune. And to be honest, I attribute pretty much where I am now as far as my interests and what got me here, getting interested in that music, heavy breakdown music and stuff. It was all him. It was all him, which is so weird. It was so sad when he passed away, but you know what I mean? It was like that he had such an impact on me musically. And so, because he would let me listen to his music, and it was like when you got somebody's like whole archive and computer in your hands. Like, what is this person into? He had like Suicide Silence. He had Whitechapel.
When was this? High school?
High school, yeah. He had and he had All Shall Perish, and I think the first time he was like, "Bro, you gotta listen to this." And
it was Wage Slaves.
No, do the actual.
Okay. I'll do it.
Cowbell.
I'll do it. Come on!
Yeah, exactly. So fire.
So fire.
God, bring back All Shall Perish for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Give me that on a fucking
Can somebody
hat.
get Eddie away from Suicide Silence?
Get him away from these kids, too.
Put him back. Oh, shit.
Get him away.
Does he have some shit? I don't even know.
I think he might.
I don't know.
Misinformation.
Spotify, put the
misinformation tag on this. We are misinforming No, because it's like if you take every joke, fucking out of pocket joke, and you just like transcribe it, it's misinformation.
Yeah, any funny joke that's bad.
Yeah.
I hope that nobody was abused by Eddie. That's just horrible.
Yeah, me too.
Or groomed. These guys are all doing
They're all
some weird
grooming.
shit. Why are they
Do you work at a dog shelter? Because you are grooming a lot, dude.
I know you're 14 now, but in 4 sweet years.
Come on, man.
Just keep my number in your pocket. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Anyway, I don't know if Eddie did that, by the way. We don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's a news article somewhere. I feel like there was now that you bring it up. Right.
There was some shit,
anyway,
but at the same time, I don't fucking know. Yeah, I love All Shall Perish.
All Shall Perish was great.
I love All Shall Perish.
But yeah, he showed me that song, and I was like, "This is new information."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is an update."
What was your reaction? Like, do you remember like your emotional reaction, your gut?
Well, the cowbell was familiar, right?
Sure.
And you're like, "Oh, like what is this?"
That like a Will Ferrell.
Yeah, that's kind of what you think of, and it's like, dude, this is silly. Like, this is metal with cowbell.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there, it was like Job for a Cowboy's Doom, like their first EP, right?
Yeah.
Entombment of a Machine.
Dude,
and like Suicide Silence, No Pity for a Coward, right? And like Whitechapel's. Another big one for me was Whitechapel's This Is Exile, right? With
Somatic Defilement.
No. I was later to the game. Yeah, sure. I was later.
But they were like fully formed at that point. Like,
but that's the one with like the my eyes are glaring, bro. I'm such a girl. The Possession and all those songs on it. It's like
spitting.
But yeah, that was like, I remember I listened to that in my buddy's like shitty car that we used to drive around. He used to like, we used to get drunk. This is terrible, but we used to get drunk and he would drive his van around. And we, you know where I lived in like a nice suburb neighborhood where there was like no cars around or whatever. It's safe. He was, I mean, you should never drink and drive, but he was getting drunk and driving this big ass like Ford. It's like an 80s or 90s Ford F350 Ford F350 around, and his favorite thing was just like he's like run over mailboxes and run over like hit trash cans on trash day. Damn. Just because his car was like invincible, and I guess he just thought that was hilarious.
That is hilarious.
It was really fun. That's honestly. Being in the passenger seat and
being like a fun time.
Being drunk on Steel Reserve in the homie's car.
Oh my god! Are you telling me he's blasting Whitechapel at this point?
He was.
Yeah.
It was right when This Is Exile came out.
Yeah.
So it's like and he's just going through and just like leveling trash cans. That's
amazing.
Trash is going there. It was fucked up. Like, I mean, but we're kids, you know. You do fucked up shit when you're kids. A lot of kids do more fucked up shit than that.
Sure.
So. But that's pretty harmless. But it was really fun. But that was a good memory of that. But when you hear that music, you're like, okay, like, how do I do? It's like doing a math problem in your head. You have to like unlock it.
Yeah.
Because some people will hear it, or the first time you hear stuff, it'll just sound like noise.
Yeah.
And then you'll have to unlock it, and it's like I hear every note of the Faceless song when I listen to it now.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because I remember when I didn't.
Right. Totally.
And then you
gibberish.
Then you experiment with drugs.
Yeah, dude. Smoke some fucking weed.
Dude, or no, like you do some ecstasy and listen to the Faceless.
Oh, fuck.
We used to do that a lot.
I guess I have
We
done
would
that,
do that.
Yeah.
We would do mushrooms or do ecstasy and listen to Planetary Duality, and it was like so much different.
Yeah.
It's so much different.
It is different.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
I looked at the thing.
I really would love to have like, you know, they talk about like, you know how they have those like ayahuasca like things where you have like a professional and they like take you on your journey,
sure,
and like give you a teepee and they watch you and they chaperone you or whatever.
Yeah.
And we always usually had a chaperone, we call him when we did mushrooms.
Sober guy,
like
sober homie.
Sober.
Yeah.
That would like change the music for us. And stuff.
Yeah.
But
he would like check if anyone's outside.
It was always my buddy Devin too. You remember Devin?
I do. Yeah.
But yeah, like I wish there was a place where you could like go and listen. If drugs ever became like industrialized like that, where we could open a business and like have controlled, safe, like what do they call them, experiences or whatever,
sure.
right? That it would be cool to open up like a music and ecstasy place,
like a drug lounge.
You literally just come and do like a very small controlled amount of like pure Molly, and then you have like the highest quality headphones on, and you can either choose your playlist or we can choose it for you. That would be kind of that would be
sick.
A trip.
I like
and
that.
And you would just like, because when I've done ecstasy and listened to music, dude, I have had some of the most intense experiences with music.
Absolutely,
honestly.
Yeah,
listening to that shit when you're fucking, and I know it sounds like just being a druggie, but it's like you hear it just so much more clearly and vividly.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Even smoking weed or something. You know what I mean?
That's what I would say. I remember the first time smoking weed. Just smoke a little bit of weed and listen to some metal shit, even if you're not into it.
Or some vinyl.
Oh, yeah. So anything on vinyl. Yeah.
I need to get back into vinyl. Like I have a bunch.
Yeah.
But I don't use my record player.
It's really nice, even beyond the whole thing that they talk about where it sounds better.
It's just a tangible, fun experience.
Yeah, it's just like the music. Ritual of it, you know?
Now it's so dumb and easy to click on. What do you want to hear? Beep, boop, beep.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And then you have to listen to the full album. And even
Which is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
The availability of it now,
Right. Yes.
Is a double-edged sword. But yes, you were saying, you have to listen to the full album. So you have to hear it as an experience.
I remember when I had the old Subi, old Super Forester, I just only had my tape.
The cassette deck.
The cassette deck in there. And so I would search for things that were on cassette at Music Millennium and everything, and it's a very limited selection. And I would just be listening to Led Zeppelin 3, which is probably the most banger thing I could find, or Madonna, or you know what I mean? There was some, but I would
forces you to go outside of your normal, comfortable taste that you're gonna pick.
Or exactly, Yes, the band Yes. It was one of their deep albums.
Only so many bands are on cassette.
Exactly, and I would listen to it over and over again, and it's crazy how once you listen to something that many times, by the fifth time, you fucking love it. Just love it.
Hot take. Cassettes.
Sick as fuck.
Way cooler than CDs.
Oh.
The whole era.
Absolutely.
If I could delete CDs and put everything that we ever had on cassette, they're just physically cooler.
Yeah, they are.
It's like a little Nintendo game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a little video. It's like a little N64 game.
Yeah. No, they're sick.
Box.
They are sick as fuck. I love them.
Because fucking the jewel cases, trash.
Yeah, they always break. Yeah, that shit always scratched.
Your CDs would scratch.
Yeah.
Cassettes. Yeah. Unless you rip that sucker out of there,
you'd really have to work at it.
You gotta fucking beat up a cassette tape.
You do, yeah.
And cassettes were such a small part of our lives. We caught the last, barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. Because what we remember, I think, mostly from our childhood is the Sony portable CD players.
Oh yeah, the Walkman,
the Walkman, the whatever disc.
Absolutely, especially in the certain ones you had to hold them up a certain way, or else they'd scratch and shit.
You could pay $100 and get the one where you could do this with it.
Yeah,
and nothing would happen. Right. It was called the Aftershock.
Yeah,
they had a name for it, Aftershock protection.
Yeah,
It was you had to find the one. You had to get the one. And then after that, it was this weird time between iPods and CD players where there was only SanDisk MP3s. You remember these weird little chunky MP3 player thingies? And they had little play, pause, back button.
Yeah.
SanDisk players and Philips had them. And it was right before iPod just decimated everything. And everyone had the iPod.
Right.
I think what really, if I'm remembering the legacy, the lineage right, I think iPod Mini was what really
it was the Mini
got everyone on the iPod when it was the color. They had the 4 colors and they had the cart or the weird commercial with the shadows of people dancing on the different colors.
Yeah.
And there was a gold one, blue one, green
had the
one,
wheel,
red one,
the touch wheel.
The touch wheel, yeah.
Remember that shit? You were whoa.
Spinning wheel. It was
no.
wheel.
It was a touch wheel.
Yes.
And you're this is amazing.
Because the original iPods were the weird ones that had the 4 buttons on the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think, was there an iPod with a real spinning wheel on it at one time?
I don't know if it spun. I don't know if it ever spun, but I just remember.
But you remember the ones that had the buttons lit up red, and it was there was a play, pause, back button on. There was 4 buttons on the top. Above the ring.
On an iPod?
Yeah.
All right, you're going to have to fucking consult. Jamie, you look this up for me?
I am my own Jamie right now.
I am my own Jamie.
Well, I have Grumpy, actually. Grumpy's in the chat. She could probably do it. But
who's Grumpy? Oh, hey, Grumpy. Sometimes I'm grumpy. She only grumpy sometimes.
She's a homie from Seattle who is the mod on the Twitch channel. So
fuck yeah.
She is in charge.
Hey.
Grumpy, maybe you can just do this for me because I've been drinking a little bit and I kind of already forgot.
I can't type so good. You're gonna look up the OG iPod.
Can you look up the OG iPod, the one that had the four buttons across the top that lit up red? You know what I'm talking about? It's the original iPod.
I don't remember
and it was
that.
this thick. There's a YouTube channel of this Australian guy that like mods them and like rips them open and like repairs them.
Hell yeah.
It's very nerdy, but she'll find it probably if she's listening. But yeah, that was I think when the iPod Color came in, and it like really made every kid want it. You know what I mean? I remember I got mine from Circuit City, and it was blue. I'll never forget it. It was like so sick.
Yeah.
And then the nanos were tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, there was that weird period where it was like
in between.
So it went from cassette, portable Sony Walkman cassette player, which I had like one of, but I never really used it. I used it to like record funny stuff. You know what I mean? With my friends. Yeah. It's like one of those recorders. You got to put a blank tape in and like record it and then play it back kind of thing.
Okay, cool.
Or you could play tapes on it. Yeah. And then it had like a headphone jack if you wanted to play tapes. And then it went from that to the CD players, which was like, I remember that era so vividly. Oh, yeah. You go to school with your little booklet of CDs.
Yes, dude.
Holy fuck, man.
That's so sick.
So different.
Yeah, and you'd like look at your homie's collection of CDs, you know, see what he's got. Oh, you got Incubus, you know? Oh,
that must give us some kind of appreciation. Not to be a boomer about it, but that in a back in my day, but that has to give us some kind of eternal appreciation for what we have now. Because like what we have now, and I mean, I had a talk with Ep about this on the podcast. I think it is a little bit less, less special, you know, than what we have now. Because what we have now is so available.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one. Let me see if I can put this up on the stream.
Okay, now I do remember. I barely remember seeing those, but I've seen them before for sure. With the 4 different buttons.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this up on the stream.
But yes, what you were saying, as far as
hang on,
the appreciation.
Yeah, like because we used to have what I was talking to Maya Ep about was that we used to have to go and find the album art. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember finding the album art?
Like if you found something on LimeWire or something like that?
Yeah. And you had to like put it in your iTunes and then you had to go get info and like put the album art in. And then you were proud of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because you fucking went through
I capitalized all the song titles.
Yes, exactly.
You know? I was OCD about that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. No, I think it's a great appreciation. And, you know, when China drops the EMP on us, we'll be back to those days. And whoever has the biggest...
No doom and gloom on the podcast.
No, dude, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, that's sick.
This thing. Anybody seeing that? I think they can probably see it good enough. Remember that?
First generation iPod.
Look at that.
It's amazing.
Look at that. See,
why do I feel like there's only U2 albums on there?
I think this is before they even put U2 on there.
Oh.
I'll never forgive them for that.
No.
Yeah, look at that. That was not that was a touch wheel as well.
And right, that's how you scroll.
The middle button was actually a touch button, and they actually went to a real click button, I think.
Oh, okay.
For some reason. I remember a buddy had one of these, and I was like, damn.
It's so sick.
And this monster, it was like probably 265 megabytes.
Brick.
It was probably like, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like,
you can hold 100 songs.
2 gigs. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another crazy thing, like what we used to pay for memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's really changed.
It's really changed. In TVs, that's the most recent one. Like the TV I have in my bedroom, that was the one that we used to smoke pot in my parent. Right? Remember we got that big TV and we mounted it up on the wall. We used to watch 3D movies on it and like play video games on the big silver TV. I still have it in my room. It's like a nice LG. It's like paper thin. We got it in like 2012. It was like $1,300. And then this TV right here is like it's even bigger. I think it's like a 50-inch, 60-some inch Samsung, brand new, 4K, everything. And it was like $300.
Yeah.
Like the TVs have plummeted.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because you got to convince people to buy them because everyone's watching shit on their phone or their laptop.
That's true. Yeah. Something happened with the TVs, man. I don't know I would love to be more.
Isn't that dude? You just made me realize something where like a TV. Educated. Like the TV experience even is now becoming like the fucking like.
Have you heard about what Gary Vee said? I don't like to quote Gary Vee all the time because everybody quotes him.
Wait. Let me finish.
Sorry. Go ahead, finish your thought.
The TV experience is now becoming like the vinyl experience, where just to sit in front of or the radio, just to sit with someone else in front on a couch and watch something.
Yes.
You know, I mean, even though it's not that different from like a phone or a computer, but you know, you can take that around everywhere. With TV, the concept that it's just not portable is like, it dates it somehow.
It does.
But anyway.
But yet still, everyone wants to have that moment when they get home and watch something bigger on the screen.
Yeah.
But it's definitely become much less of a priority.
Right.
It's weird. Very weird.
Because you're like, well, does it
us,
surf the internet?
Me and Sarah, when we have TV going, we're looking at our phones the whole time.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's hard to put a movie in. You gotta force yourself to watch a movie.
Yeah. You got to put the phones in the little Ziploc.
Dude, I need them at home.
You just need them.
Honestly, I need them at home.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What were you going to say, though?
I was going to say just that Gary Vee has said like stuff like basically, I forget what he said is next, but he said like the radio became the television in the 80s. Yeah. And or 70s and 80s or whatever, and everybody crowd around the radio, and it was everyone had a big radio in their home, and crowd around the radio, and let's turn that shit up. And I think the vinyl player became the radio, right? In a sense, yeah. Or I guess that's different. I guess we're talking about broadcasting versus listening and owning music. Sure. But it's like I think but then the radio became the television, and then the TV became the smartphone. And then I forget what he said. Something was next. I don't remember what he said was like next. But
NFTs.
Yeah, probably some. He's probably trying to peddle.
Is it NFTs, Gary?
Probably trying to sell some NFTs.
Are you trying to turn me into an NFT, Gary?
Yeah, you want to put me in a JPEG?
Yeah.
No.
Sell me?
Yeah.
I am not for sale as an NFT.
I am NFS.
I'm NFS, never for sale.
But yeah, it's wild how shit's changed. And I mean, it's like, fuck, I'm old. Makes me feel old, but we also came up in that golden era.
Well, it makes you feel old, but also, it's important to understand like the speed at which technology's been changing has been increasing. So it's like, that the cycles have been getting quicker and quicker.
I feel young as fuck.
Yeah,
like dude, I feel great.
I'm a child.
I'm a
child.
I'm a little child.
If you are a grown woman, if you're a grown woman and you look at me, you better be careful because I'm a child.
I identify as a 12-year-old
as a 12-year-old boy. You better be careful.
Right. You get in trouble. Get sent to jail.
Yeah.
Looking at me funny.
Yeah. So you better be careful out there. Oh man, you just pour me more Buffalo too. Yeah. As I say that, as I start wiling out on your cast
on the pod. No, dude, I'm really glad you're here.
Me too, man.
I'm. There's few people that I'm as comfortable just sitting and chatting with than you are, man. Yeah. I mean, we used to fall asleep on the couch high as fuck with our mouths open. Up. I used to wake up at like 4 a.m. Yeah. And I would see you and Patty laying there baked as fuck. I think we were watching some nature show or something. Oh, yeah,
sure.
Or I think one time we fell asleep watching some like conspiracy stuff like Zeitgeist or something.
Absolutely, dude. I would be like, dude, fucking check this out. They figured it out. Those are some of my
favorite times. Just sitting there at the house. Just no care in the world. Like, I remember, simpler times. That was like the last time my life was simple. Like, very simple. Like, it's still pretty simple. Like, I don't want to say that my life is crazy now. But it's like that was, but
I know what you.
With
I know
COVID what media, like nothing mattered. Yeah. Even back, that was not so long ago. That was maybe, I guess it was like fucking 10 years ago.
10 years ago, roughly.
But
crazy.
For 10 years. Dude.
Yeah.
Been one of my best friends.
10-year
for 10
homie.
years. I love you. I love you for 10 years.
I love you too.
I love you for 10 years.
10 years more.
10 years. I'll love you for 10 years more. Easy.
All right.
Maybe
cool.
20.
Hell yeah.
Dude, and I also haven't traveled with a lot of other people. And I've traveled quite a bit with you. We went on our first tour ever with you.
That's right.
The first tour time we ever got the boys in a van when we were Sisyphean,
that was so fun, dude.
What do you remember about that from the time I asked you to go? Like, how does your memory work? Because I don't really remember even asking you to go. I think it was just like implied that you were coming.
No, you asked me. You were like, we were hanging out a bunch already, so I was there for like the whole like planning of it. Right. Or I was hanging out. I knew that it was coming.
That we were gonna go or whatever.
Yeah, and I remember. I think at that point I had done lights or something for you at least once. Yeah.
At the Hawthorne.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I just remember you guys asked me to go, and I remember I was like in school, and I was like, it'll be fine.
In college.
Yeah, I was in college, and I was like, have my shits online. And I remember like not even really telling my parents about it, and just being like, I'm just going to send it. Oh, they got furious. Dude, I failed like 3 classes.
Lit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barb.
Yeah, it's look at me now, Mom.
Sorry, Barb.
Yeah, it's okay.
You can't trade that experience for nothing.
No.
That was so much fun.
And I knew that. I knew that at the time. And it was so much fun. And I didn't know you guys as well. It was a little terrible. I felt bad for you guys because there was like more pressure and shit that you guys had to do, especially you, because you had to sing every night, and then it was like, shit. I remember you were like, dude, my voice fucking hurts, and shit like that.
Yeah, I wasn't like ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, that's hard. You got like screaming every night, screaming your ass off every night is a difficult
It's hard to just chill on stage and not get it too fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And so exciting that I just want to and I just want to go so hard.
Yeah.
But the best performances that you have and the best thing you can do for your voice long term is just fucking chill out.
Just chill.
And just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to be lazy and it somehow sounds better. It's like the one thing. It sounds better and feels better when you're just not trying and being lazy. And it's like with guitar, you can't not try and be lazy. You have to hit the fucking
You got to hit the notes.
You have to hit the frets.
But there's something about being relaxed. I think with almost everything.
Okay.
You do want to be like relaxed with drums. You want to be relaxed. Like everything you want to be like
it's a weird
loose.
mixture.
Yeah.
Of being on time and being relaxed.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's a standout memory?
Oh, man.
Good or bad from the
Well, I
first
remember
tour.
our
This was
first time.
2013?
2013, I think, yeah. I remember going to Austin for the first time.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring it up.
I mean, it was just like...
It's funny because I hated it so bad.
I know. That's why I got to bring it up.
Now I just really think... All I think about every day is how badly I want to pack up all my shit and move there in one day. But the first time I ever went there, it was...
You're like, get me the fuck out of here.
It was the middle of August, and it was so hot.
Really hot, really sketchy neighborhood that we were in.
Which now I love the hot weather, but...
Yeah.
Oh, it was so sketchy. We played in an old... It was like a Mexican restaurant that had been shut down for years.
Yeah.
And they just hollowed that sucker out and started booking like sketchy metal shows in there.
Yeah.
And there was like gangster dudes coming around with guns because it was like in the hood.
Like,
and
you know where you're at?
They were like, just
white boy?
Just letting you know, like, you're protected here. You're good here. Like, we're going to leave you alone, but like, act right. And you're just like, holy fuck, little white kid from the suburbs of Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw this on a video game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
San Andreas.
I saw this on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like fucking culture shock for sure. Now that all that shit is like nice as fuck over there.
Right, East Austin.
Crazy. Yeah. But
it was wild.
Was that one of the standouts?
I remember that. We
got in the fight.
I remember the fights.
Because my dad, my parents have a timeshare, and they got us hooked up with timeshares along the way. Like every few nights we'd have a hotel, and I was like, I got my parents to hook up the hotel, so I wanted a bed in this place in like San Antonio or something. And I was being a bitch about it, and everybody got mad at me. And then I realized that I was being a bitch about it, so I learned my lesson. I slept on the floor, and I gave everybody that was the way that I ended it.
Yeah. No, I remember that you were upset, but then you almost like did penance on yourself.
I did kind of. I realized that I was being an asshole.
Yeah.
And what I realized there, I think, is a good little lesson for any fucking dude in a band, or like especially vocalist dudes. A lot of us will end up footing the bill for a lot of stuff at the beginning, or investing a lot. You know what I mean? That because we're not writing the music, so we have to kind of pull our weight in other ways. You know what I mean? And like for me, I've always been like, I don't care what it costs. Buy the shirts. I'll buy them. I don't care what the gas is. You know. And this is before the band. Now the band is kind of paying for it, starting to pay for itself to do all this stuff. But it was kind of one of those moments where I was like, I call it like trying to cash your checks, right? Or like trying to itemize things that you've done for your band, and that's a big no. And it's a quick way to get kicked out of your own band. Because I have buddies that I'm not going to name their names, but like they're
dude, you should name names now.
They're constantly getting. They're doing better, so it's not. There's no point.
Just kidding,
but like they were constantly getting kicked out of their own bands,
yeah,
because they're just being these drill sergeant dudes, and then they're trying to go, or they're like doing all this stuff for the band selflessly, seemingly, and then one day on the road in Texas or in Illinois, you start going, I do this and I do that, so I deserve this,
right?
And it's like that's not the right attitude to have,
right? Absolutely.
I've learned that the hard way, and luckily I'm still here and still with the same guys.
Sure.
Probably because I realized how I was being. If it was a pattern that I continued, then we probably wouldn't have put up with that. You know what I mean? Rightfully so.
No, that's a good lesson.
Thing. You can't cash your checks. You know what I mean? When you're doing selfless stuff for the band, you got to just do it for the band.
Because it's selfless. It's like you can't
do stuff and expect, credit for it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
As far as that stuff goes, you know.
Well,
but
and yeah,
what's
that's
a good
something,
memory from that tour? I know what were you gonna say?
Well, I just think that's a really good lesson, and like that's something I've been working on. Where it's also
because
like,
you're the mastermind of your projects mostly, especially with.
I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just something where it's like, you know, you got to be just grateful. Like grateful to even have the opportunity to be doing this kind of shit.
To have a good team.
Yeah, and like to be like breaking it down in like a petty way of like, I did this, I do this, I do everything.
Right.
You know, like I just do it. And it's just like, oh, guess what a man does though? He does what needs to be done.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just does what needs to be done and then forgets about it. You know?
Right.
Is there a task that needs to be done in front of me? I'll do it.
It's all kind of for the mission.
Yeah.
It's for the greater
it's for the
good.
mission.
It's
and you don't like think
team.
about it and
it's
hold on to it and like
right.
and be like, next time they're not doing something, I'm going to fucking whip this
Even
out.
like Tom Brady or something.
Yeah,
like
no, it applies to anything.
Everything he does is for his team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
he's only as good as his team is.
Yeah, and then you're like grateful to be like a servant of service to the team.
Exactly.
You know, that's my purpose. Like, and so like since I've been trying to drive that into my own head, like resentments and grudges, all that shit has just been like flying out the window.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, oh, I'm grateful to have something to do to make myself useful to drive this whole thing forward, rather than like,
I did this and I did that, so I deserve this.
And you should do it next time because I did it the last 2 times. Like, fuck that, you know?
And you're never going to make people do shit that they wouldn't already want to do out of the goodness of their own heart.
Right. Well, I mean, I've tried to do that before.
Well, but I mean, you can't get somebody to have a generous thought about something or a selfless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do this for the group.
Right, exactly.
Without, like, you can't force that kind of natural thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you can't force that. And, but yeah, anyway, I think that was a valuable lesson.
What's a good memory from that tour in 2013? The most fun. The most positive one that you had. Where did we even go?
All right, hold up. My most positive, the thing that really, really stuck with me was the late night drives, because I was the co-pilot.
I think I slept a lot.
You did sleep a lot, but you earned your sleep. You know, you had to fucking perform.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, you did. Yeah. You did. You had to perform.
I could have driven more.
But okay, so it was mainly Josh and Blaine and your dad who were driving, right?
Right.
And so I remember
My dad's actually in here right now.
Oh, fuck yeah. Papa G!
He just came in.
What up? Okay, I was literally about to tell the story regardless of that. But
that's awesome.
No, seriously. And now it's like, now this is amazing. So one of my favorite memories was, I was going to say, getting to know your dad on these late night drives and like hearing about like his whole life and everything, and just like,
he's a fucking legend,
fucking G, dude, and just being like in the passenger seat and like,
I'm trying to get him on the podcast.
Oh, definitely get him on here.
Have him a reoccurring.
Thing. No, and I just remember like smoking a little weed, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we were like in New Mexico or something like that.
Was smoking weed.
He wasn't smoking weed, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
but you guys were.
No, we were smoking weed.
Right.
But
because we smoke weed, dude.
We smoke weed, and it's pretty cool.
Listen,
that's
still cool.
It's honestly a big personality trait of mine that I smoke weed.
No, it's not.
It's a huge personality trait.
You don't even smoke weed.
I don't even smoke weed.
You're
I'm
not
just kidding.
Weed
I was being sarcastic. But no, getting to know your dad was fucking sick, because I was like, this is a fucking legit like man, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like here, and we're fucking on the open road.
And we were like 18, 20.
Yeah, 19 maybe.
Yeah.
20. I don't know.
You guys were younger, because I was 21.
Okay. Yeah, I remember needing the stamp every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we went to that bar in San Antonio, and the guy gave us all margaritas.
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
Blaine was like 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on one of these late night drives, I think your dad might have been asleep. I think maybe Josh or Blaine was driving. We're all hopped up on Viso.
Oh yeah, Viso Energy.
Yeah, because you guys were sponsored. We just had cases of that shit,
dude.
But we were driving through not Rochester, Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh, the alien
Area
shit. 51.
Area 51, and I remember being like, guys, look out the window, and there was these green flashes happening like on the skyline.
You're not hallucinating this?
No, I mean, we were on some Viso. We were cracked out on Viso, but we were
hadn't slept, but for real weird.
For real.
Did it look like Aurora Borealis kind of stuff or whatever?
It did. It looks just like strange lights, and they were flashing. And I remember we pulled over, and me and Josh and Blaine got out. Everyone else was asleep. We got out. We're on this empty highway.
Smoke a cigarette. Blaine
in New Mexico. Sure, yeah. We got out. Everyone was on it. We were on an empty highway in New Mexico, and we just like watched the flashes for a while. And this is before we even got to Roswell. You know, it was before we got there. We were outside of it. We just watched the flashes, and we're like, I don't know. And, you know, we went through the different what it could be. First, we're like, it's aliens. Then we're like, there's a military base. They're probably
nuclear testing
doing
or
some
whatever.
shit, you know? But I just remember.
Still wild looking.
Yeah. And just that feeling.
And when you're driving through Roswell, it feels weird. Like
it does.
Like you're just like, I'm in a weird place.
It does feel weird because it's kind of like it's got the tourist trap alien thing. Like the McDonald's has a flying saucer.
Right.
There,
and there's like all these diners and hotels that are UFO hotels.
Yeah, but there's still a weird vibe.
Which is interesting that they do that. That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's like the whole town's thing.
Yeah. Which,
like if you grew up there, you would work at the fucking alien diner.
Yeah.
As your first job.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd wear a little Martian costume.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Marty's.
Yeah, dude.
We're here to. What can I get you? Can I get you started off with any extraterrestrial drinks?
Our coffee is out of this world. you know they got shit like that. Yeah. Yeah, and so there was a weird ass place. I really remember it fondly though, just outside of all like the shows and all that sick shit, and like getting hammered with you guys.
It's out of this world. Yeah, getting hammered was fun.
Getting hammered, you know, but and some of the crazy drives, you know. I just remember.
Do you remember
just
driving
being on the
to
road
Denver for 17 hours straight?
Yeah. No, I remember driving through Utah specifically because I was like, this place is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, we got out of the car at a rest stop viewpoint, and there was like Native American dudes selling like arrowheads and like, and they were selling like jewelry at this rest stop, like on a blanket. There was like a couple people selling stuff on a blanket, and we all got out and like sat we just like looked at the crazy like views. It's the Wile E. Coyote where it's like a fucking little thing with like a huge like a rock like stalagmite fucking thing, and then it's got like a giant boulder sitting on it like this. And you're like, how is this possible? How is this possible?
Yeah, just as far as the eye can see.
Utah and Salt Lake City, fully underrated.
Oh yeah.
We went to. They don't want people to know how nice it is there. They want you to think Mormons and stay away.
Yeah,
that's really what they want because it is fucking beautiful. We just went there on tour, and it's like, and I described this. I think I've talked about this on multiple podcasts recently, but it's like in Portland, you're like, you know, if we go up on the roof of my building, because we had the balcony thing, and go look out, and you could see Mount Hood, and it's like, if this is like the city buildings, then like Mount Hood is like way over here, and it's like, you know, it's a beautiful view, and it's beautiful, but when you're in Salt Lake, dude, and you're downtown, it's like the mountains are right here. Damn. And you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you could shoot them with a gun. Like they're right there.
Damn.
It's fucking crazy.
I bet people do that. Shoot the mountains.
Shoot the mountains. I bet I could throw a pig skin over the mountains. Yeah. Uncle Rico, dude. Yeah. Bet I could throw a pig skin over the mountains. But yeah, that was fun.
There's a lot of good memories.
We need to have you come with us again.
Yeah.
On the next time we do one. It would have been nice. It would have been fun to have you on this. On this full length. It would have been serious.
That'd have been crazy.
But.
And then I went to another one. I went to the Plague Wagon one.
Oh yeah, when we all got sick.
Oh, everyone got sick. And
hey, I don't care what you want to say about the pandemic. That was COVID. That was early. That was early. That was early COVID.
That was the early Roro.
I'm just saying that was the early Rona because that was that sickness. That was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Was when we were, and it was my birthday the day we came back.
That's right.
So I was in a van all day, sick as fuck with my homies for my birthday, and I remember just being like, this sucks, but I wouldn't rather be anywhere else, kind of thing. Like it was so cool to be coming back from it was a little 3 or 4 day banger tour, you know what I mean?
No, it was fucking cool. It was just in Cali.
It was good.
Saw Seth and the
homie
boys.
Seth,
shout out Animus. Yeah.
So to go back to some music stuff, like, so we talked about how you started off, you were singing opera when you were 3 years old on the counter.
I was lip syncing.
And then you were, all of a sudden you're playing guitar, you're 8 years old, playing guitar, and you're learning Nirvana. and then slowly you're like getting addicted to like death metal, and so you're learning other things. You're trying to be. So when did you start your first like? Was the Odious your first band? I don't even know this about you. Was the Odious your first like metal band that you started?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. But we had a bunch of different names.
Okay. Well, no, that's what I'm asking. So like I know that it was like you and the dudes.
It was me and the boys.
It was you and the boys, which a couple boys have rotated in and out or whatever.
Since then. But in this period, it was all the same dudes.
And so what was the first band name?
The first band name was Nihilist.
Ooh. Yeah. I think that's currently a band name, probably.
I think so, or Rivers of Nile.
But you were the first. Yeah. You were the first.
I don't
Nihilist.
know if we were the
no,
first
there's definitely a Nihilist.
Yeah, no,
right now.
There might have been already back then,
there's like a popular Nihilist.
I think back then we changed it because we looked on MySpace and we're like, shit.
God damn it.
Fuck, yeah.
MySpace
but
was a vibe.
Nihilist and then Rest the Wicked.
Ooh, Rest the Wicked.
Yeah, those were the two that we like had for a solid chunk of time.
Fire.
Before we
What's
settled
up,
on
guys?
the
We're Rest the Wicked.
Yeah, dude. Rest the
Wicked. This song is called.
Yeah. No, we had a song called Jesus Skin Hat.
What?
Yeah, dude. We're just trying to be so edgy. Jesus Skin Hat.
I love it.
It was a song about making a hat out of Jesus' skin, bro.
Dude. Hilarious.
So silly. Then we had, but no, those were all the ones.
Ahead of its time.
Really, truly ahead of its time. And then I remember, like Eric Gem and a crew. And he was in We the Denied. We the Denied were huge when but to
Eric
us
was?
Yeah, dude. Eric was in We the Denied with Chris Scanlon and Dashiell Benson, dude. If he ever sees
I remember Dashiell.
You know Dashiell?
Yeah,
Dashiell was the drummer.
And Dashiell, he used to drive his bike around, deliver weed.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's
Then he had a
Dashiell.
dope house on Sauvie Island.
He did.
Go visit him out there. That was fun as fuck.
That's him, yeah.
He had a pool back there.
Yeah.
I miss that guy. I like that guy. He's one of those Portland dudes that just I was friends with that just disappeared from my friend group. I don't know.
I don't know where he
you
went.
have those people.
Yeah.
Which I'm so grateful that you're never one of those people. You were never one of those people.
I'm
always around. But you have those people that you're like have a connection with.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like go off and do their own thing, or everybody's doing their own thing, but like for some reason you lose touch.
Yeah.
That bums me out. You can't be friends with everybody long term, man. We don't have the bandwidth. There's a thing called the what's it called?
It's like where there's the 100 people rule.
Yeah, what's it called? It's a guy's name.
It's called.
It's not Darwin. It's
I'm drawing a huge blank.
I am too, man, because I thought about this a lot. Dunbar. It's called Dunbar's Law. Pretty sure. Google me, Grumpy. Misinformation right now.
Google me, Grumpy.
Dunbar's Law, I think, is that you can't have more than 150 relationships.
Yeah.
Which a relationship is like if me and you know the same guy, that's 3 relationships because it's your relationship, and then it's your relationship with that other person, and then it's me and that person's relationship. Mm-hmm. Or that might be 4 relationships because then it's what kind of relationship do we all have?
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like I read a book about this recently or like a while ago.
But if it's exponential like that, then it's like really we're talking like 50 people.
Because your it's not a lot of people. It's like relationships, not people. It's 150 relationships, not people, right? So that's what we have the bandwidth. Dunbar's number, yeah. So that's what we have the bandwidth.
Damn, Grumpy.
The bandwidth with like our brain that like. If that's crazy to think about. But
a suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain stable social relationships in which individual know each person and is how each person relates to every other person. Yeah,
I'm going to read it louder because you read it like a fucking, like you were telling me a secret.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So Dunbar's number, a suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain stable social relationships in which an individual knows who each person is and how each person relates to every other person. So like Garrett, my drummer, and your drummer in the Odious and whatever you do, it's me and Garrett's relationship, you and Garrett's relationship, me and yours relationship, and then how I understand your and his relationship.
Right. Okay, I see.
So for
me, it would be how I understand your and his relationship.
Right. So because I know how you guys interact, which is kind of crazy to think. And that's why they've done these studies of like and I would have to refresh my brain on it, but they've done these studies of like different size communities together and like cults. It always comes up in cults because once the cult grows to like a certain number, shit goes downhill and it starts to get bad really quick.
Right.
Because these people can't keep this shit together with just the couple or whatever.
Right.
Very interesting shit that I don't know a lot about.
So it's like you can really only know like 6 people or something.
At a time, yeah. Like that's why your friend circles will change and stuff like that will happen. And then as we get older, we get tired.
Yeah.
And like we've gotten tired. We used to have so many friends and so many band guys, and now like Drake said in a rhyme, my circle got so small that it's a period, and I fucking felt that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like after time goes on, you're cutting people off because this guy stole $100 from you. Right. This guy fucking stole your weed. This guy fucking never brings his own beer. Right. You know what I mean? Or what? You know what I mean? This guy fucks a girl you liked or something, and it's like you just like cut people off, and then it's like you realize who's shady and who's your real friends. You know what I mean? And we've done a great job of that. I will solemnly say that our friend group, I'm gonna be a cocky asshole about it. I think we handpick the best motherfuckers. I think we have the best, most solid group of dudes.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy.
I'm so happy with our friend group.
You know, I'm
after
happy.
All these years.
I'm very happy after all these years, but this was something I was thinking about to myself recently of how I need to make more of an attempt to like reach out to my friend group because I've gotten very like solitary.
You do a lot. You're working on a lot of music.
I've had my head down and I've been working a lot, and that's been good because I've needed to do that. But because especially ironically over COVID, I was bouncing around all over the place because I was like, I'm gonna do the opposite of what.
That's exactly what we all pretty much did.
Yeah,
we traveled,
we all hung out, traveled.
We spent the most money on plane tickets we've ever spent.
Exactly. And now I'm like, all right, now I need to isolate a little more. Now that the restrictions are, because I need to like focus on like bettering myself, you know, my career and all that sort of shit. And I've just been really focused on that. But then I'm like,
well, you're killing it too.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
I'm trying. But yeah, like you know, I still have my core group of people, you know, those are, it's still my core. Like that hasn't changed.
And you and I will not talk for a month and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we've clocked the hours.
Yeah, exactly. Clocked the 10,000.
Clocked that 10,000. Once you hit that 10K,
yeah, dude, it's
over.
Yeah, no, but it's yeah. So that's something that I'm trying to do more is at least like check in on my core group. You know, just like random check-ins.
And we could all be better about that.
Yeah.
We could all be better about that.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a two-way street, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like when people like you know, or like people like me for you, like when we hit each other up, it's like, oh, yes, dude. Oh, yes. Let's get together right now.
Yeah.
Let's hang out right now. Like
totally.
Where have we been for each other?
Yeah.
Like where have we have not hung out enough recently.
Yeah, totally.
But we also fucking got high and fell asleep on the couch for like 5 years straight.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, every day. Yeah. So it was like right after class or right after work or whatever.
Sure.
Come over, dude. So
many a day.
So how did it go from the Odious? When did you start the Odious, your first metal project? When did you start
the Odious?
And how has the music changed? Did it start off as like Metallica stuff, riffs, or has it always been this Opethy death metal project that you guys have done?
Yeah, it's always been like,
which is a gross comparison, but it's like that's just like the easiest way to sum it up.
I appreciate that comparison.
I know it's a fucking it's
a flattering comparison.
It's a positive, it's a compliment.
Sure.
But it's also just like a quick, crude kind of like you know, it's Opethy it's Opeth in a blender with Alice in Chains and like decapitated death metal band.
Sick.
You know what I mean? So it's like
sick.
that's why it's the coolest thing ever.
Oh shit! I'm like, what band is that, dude? I want to listen to that band.
It's your band, buddy.
Oh, fuck,
it's your band, bud.
Oh fuck.
But when did you guys? I guess what was the first sound of the Odious when you guys were Nihilist?
So when we were Nihilist,
has the music changed with every name? Did the music change with every name? Is that what prompted the name change?
No. We were just like, this name is whack.
Okay.
You know, and it's not it. You know,
right?
And the music didn't really change. We were always into like different shit, and we're always into blending shit, like you mentioned, like mixing shit up. But I would say when we first started, it was more like, you know, closer to metalcore, like Despised Icon, Black Dahlia Murder, The Red Chord. Those were our big fucking influences, you know. And then that was like freshman year, and then we got deeper into like, I think junior year is when we're like we're the Odious, and we released that EP. That Night of Forest grew, and that's when we were into like the Faceless, Between the Buried and Me.
BT Band's the other one.
Yeah, and so, it got like proggier, I guess, as time went on, and as we got better at our instruments, we wanted to just like try to flex that more, and challenge ourselves and whatnot.
Naturally.
Yeah, and so I would say it got a little bit more like that, but it was always kind of like a weird little blend. Like one thing I didn't like about, I got into metal, but then I noticed pretty quickly and didn't like about metal was how there's like, I loved how there's all these different genres, subgenres, but I didn't like how people were so like lame about everything. Like there are so many people who are
What do you mean lame though? Like
they were just so like gatekeepery, and
right.
just kind of like,
that's not progressive metalcore.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like black and deathcore only,
or get the fuck out.
Yeah, and I know what black and deathcore is better than anyone else, kind of a thing.
Dude, this transitions so well into something I want to talk about right after this, but keep talking.
Well, no, I was just that was something that I was always like, fuck that.
Because I think that's a coming of age thing. That we start to realize, you know what? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, a huge part of, like, my youth and childhood, like, where Nirvana is for you, maybe, like, pop punk and stuff like that, like, was for me, like, mains, like, Fall Out Boy and Blink-182. And it was, like, there was that whole, if it doesn't have blast beats, you're a pussy.
Right.
And if it doesn't have breakdowns, you're a bitch. And I don't want to hear this.
Right.
Get out of here unless you have tight jeans on. Unless your hair is long, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? And if it ain't heavy, go fuck off somewhere.
Sure.
And then it's like that. I woke up one day and I was like, no, I like what I like.
Yeah.
I like what I like, and that's what makes me me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like there was like a whole, I remember like it was like a whole like weight lifted off of you when you can freely listen to anything and not feel it. Because when you're in high school and you have a group of friends and you're like a music group, right? And you're like the metal kids, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
You have this weird, like, it's almost like a legacy that you have to uphold where it's like it is gatekeeper. It's like a level of entry thing or something. Like you have to listen to heavy shit to hang out with the boys.
Sure.
And it's stupid, but it's a real thing when you're fucking 15.
It's real, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. And you're just trying to be cool and you're hanging out with the cool kids and that look all metal and you want to be one. And it's like, I don't think that goes away. It's probably worse now, to be honest, with the social media, the clickiness. It's probably worse.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have seen a lot of kids kind of be multi-genre. Seems like the younger generation is pretty open to multi-genre stuff.
That's one thing, because I feel like I kind of shat on Gen Z a little bit earlier. That I'd want to say that is a very good thing. Is like they're much more open-minded, much more exposed to all different sorts of things than we were, and I feel like a much
because literally like if you were a metal kid and you listened to Fall Out Boy, like they would say you're fucking gay, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now like you're not allowed to say that. And,
I mean,
and everyone
which is pretty gay.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
But no, it's all right. It's funny.
Sorry.
But you're right. No, but and we're not the first people to say that. Nick Swartzen had a great joke about that.
Shit.
That's a Nick Swartzen joke.
Shit.
Get your own material. Dude.
Fuck.
No, but it's funny though, because like that you would be ridiculed and stuff if you liked, But nowadays it's like what's cool is being comfortable with yourself nowadays. I think.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
That's more kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
Just like what you like. There's so much shit.
And I mean,
out
what
there.
do I fucking know about being 15 and 2022? I don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
It's probably fucked up, honestly. Sounds like
sounds
horrible
like a struggle, dude.
I love the age that I'm at right now with how fucked up the world is, because I can look at it and be like, nah, like I'm not gonna worry about this, but this is important.
I'm like thinking about moving to the woods a little bit.
I can like sort it all out. You know what I mean? But like if being 15 and all you're just looking at your TikTok every day, like what the fuck,
dude?
Man? So
I was
wild.
such a mess.
Little 12-year-old
From
kid,
15 to 22
kids on Tinder in high school, fucking. Think about that. I guess 12-year-olds you wouldn't be in high school, but there's kids on Tinder. There's like young kids on Tinder.
Yeah.
Like somebody told me like my little brother has a Tinder. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? They're young ass kids out there fucking swiping right on each other. It's like, and I've never had a Tinder. I don't even know what it is. I've been in a relationship since before the inception of those dating apps. I've never had one.
You are with Christ.
I'm with Christ. Christ is my leader.
You are with Christ because Tinder is
if
of
anything,
the devil.
I'm just a boomer. You know what I mean? And
I'm fuck the boomer shit, dude.
I mean, I'm lucky. I'm lucky in a way, but also I'm lucky in a lot of ways with that. But I'm also like, it's also like a complete cultural reflex that I have no experience with. Like everyone, it's a phenomenon. Everyone that I know has been on Tinder or is on it.
I've been on
and I've never.
That's cool.
I mean, it kind of is. I mean, you know what I mean? But it's like, I mean, it is cool because I think that app is kind of toxic.
It's terrible.
But
no one wants to be on there.
On the just, theoretically or whatever, it's just weird.
It's weird.
It's a weird concept to think about that, like, it's one of those things. And I'm very social media oriented. I'm on the apps. I'm promoting. I'm working on I'm networking. I'm doing this shit, trying to sell myself on social media. But it's like I've never had a Tinder. Try not to focus on the chat. We'll go back to the chat.
I'm just, dude, Grumpy's fucking knocking it out of the park right now. Shout out to Grump. Yeah. I just see my she posted my social media there. So
that's what she does. She's amazing.
Cool.
She's a gangster.
All right.
But
shout out.
Thank you, Grumpy. Shout out, Grumpy. But yeah, it's like I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like I've never had this app that like 90% of the world is on using, right? And it's like I have no interest in having one. And and to be honest, the idea of like becoming single and going on one of those, it's like kind of scary, daunting to me to go on that right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And you basically put your fucking self up there and you're like, what am I worth in swipes?
Dude.
Who's gonna swipe on me?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And as someone who has been single,
and you're only as good as your pictures and your bio.
No, dude, I've been single through the whole thing of Tinder, like, and I've been in relationships too, but I've also been single while there's dude, you don't need a Tinder. You don't need a Tinder.
What, for you're talking to single about?
Yeah, to single people,
guys out there.
Single guys, single girls, whatever the fuck. You don't need a Tinder. You can meet people every day in real life.
It takes a little confidence.
Takes a little confidence. Takes a little leap of faith, but it's like there's people all around you all the time. And I know that it's gotten so much harder post-COVID because everyone is, especially in Portland, still wearing the masks and everything, and they register in your mind as like non-human, stranger, don't talk, like enemy sort of a thing, which is, I think, just the psychological effect of a mask.
Horrible psychological effect of masks.
Yeah, but
fuck masks.
But I am someone who believes in the analog way, where you can meet people in real life, you can vibe out with them.
I think friends is the way to go.
Friends is a great way.
I think that's the best way.
It's a great way. People at
go
stores.
Out with a group you don't normally go. Hey, I'm going to meet up with my friends.
Yeah,
come out with my friends. And also for men, and I've had to deal with. Had this talk recently. Were you done with your thought? I'm sorry.
Pretty much.
Okay, but not to interrupt you, but it's like I've had this thought recently, and I had to tell somebody this, a friend of mine, and he's like, "What's wrong with me? Why don't girls like me or whatever?" Like, what's? And he's been single for like a long time, years and years, and I'm like, dude, have you thought about like having more like females in your life that you're not just trying to fuck, or that you're not like pursuing?
Yeah, because
that changes the whole game.
Yeah, and
since I've been in a relationship for a long time, very happy. Don't go and mess around. Don't flirt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's been nice to, like, I've broed down with some chicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, like, I have homegirls that, like, are actual, and I know that sounds like, oh, that shouldn't be such a thing, but, like, I don't know if it's just when I was growing up, like, we just didn't hang out with, there wasn't a ton of girls in the group of homies. It was, like, dudes, you know what I mean? And so it's, like, later in life when you're not, when everybody's not trying to fuck everybody, the dust can settle and you can start to look at people for who they are. You know what I mean? And be like, let's be friends because we have this in common, or we like each other, or whatever. We can talk to each other about shit. And to get a female perspective, like, imagine a guy who's been single forever and he just never talks to chicks unless he's trying to pursue, on the prowl. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's going to be very negative and you're going to come off weird. Like, try to get a girl perspective, because a girl that's your homegirl should be like, dude, you're being fucking weird.
Yeah.
You can't go and talk to girls like that, buddy. You're being weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, she'll give you an unfiltered, honest, I don't know. That to me has, I don't know.
Just treat people like people.
Treat people like people, yeah. But I feel like with a dude that's been single for a long time, trying to meet people, and it's like every interaction with the female is like so predicated on this goal of like either, and maybe if it's innocent and it's just finding a partner, a relationship, it's not necessarily sex driven,
right?
But it's like it can definitely. You can
pressure.
Become a weird person.
Right.
You can become a weird, creepy dude.
That's
because
pressure.
Literally everything you're trying to do, it's like goal oriented instead of just like, I would even, if I was a weird, and I don't have any experience with Tinder or dating apps, but I'm like, if I was a weird dude, or not a weird dude, but a dude where like girls just like weren't liking me, I literally would be like, okay, I need to just get some female friends, because they're friends. I'll find somebody.
Yeah.
Right. I will probably find. So let's go look for some friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just try to put on Tinder, like literally looking to go hang out.
Right.
And like not be a friend.
I just want to reiterate to people like.
Or Tinder's not good.
You don't need Tinder.
Don't need it. Yeah.
You don't need it. You don't.
I mean, you're talking to somebody that's like, I know
oblivious. You know. I know oblivious. You know.
Tell these people.
You don't need it.
It's just hard.
It is hard
for people.
And it's gotten harder. I don't deny that. But think of all of the fucking struggles humans have dealt with before we've been alive. And, you know, this is another one of them, but this is not that big of one. You basically just have to get over, you know, a few awkward interactions that are bound to happen. Yes, you're going to make a fool of yourself. Imagine that. Imagine that. It'll be okay.
I heard a story recently.
Your skin will thicken.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to grow socially.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard a story on a podcast recently. This guy was talking about how he met his wife, and he just saw this woman like from across a bar, and he was like, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, and if I don't talk to her, I'm gonna fucking regret it for the rest of my life. And it's like, I think we need more of that.
That's how I
think, and I know it sounds like a movie, it sounds corny, but it's not.
No, dude.
It's out there. But then you're dealing with, you have this weird, like you were talking about, the social, I think it sounds less offensive if you call it social autism. Or whatever, social Asperger's.
Yeah.
Where people are
You're right.
People are socially
autistic.
Mentally ill.
Yeah.
Especially in Oregon. I'm sorry. Sorry,
yeah.
Oregonians.
Well,
in the Northwest in general, people are very, it rains and I'm inside all the time and I'm weird. If you go to Texas where there's sun, I'm sorry, you guys. Everyone's way nicer than you.
And there's the mask shit,
too. Be
a
nicer person.
Yeah.
Get out there and fucking be social.
Yeah.
I don't break the barrier. I don't know what it is, but something about the lack of sunshine. People are fucking weird here.
Yeah.
And it annoys me. It's hard for me to live here long term when there's fucking everyone's a fucking introverted weirdo.
Yeah,
and
there's too much time in their own
heads. You're like,
heads.
hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, why are you talking to me? And it's like you go to Austin and people are like, hey, what's up to you? And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Somebody's hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Another dude talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, cool. And there's good people here. I'm not trying to say everyone here sucks, but people aren't used to like being jarred with an uninvited social interaction, and so people have to deal with like you walk up to a group of girls, I imagine in a lot of places with this whole social, you know, everyone's on their phone all the time, and then you walk up and you're like, hey, I want to buy you a drink. They're like, ew, who are you?
Right.
You know, like, what are you? You know what I mean, or whatever.
Right.
And
but if you can internalize, honest,
if a girl comes at a dude that way, like a girl comes at me that way when I'm at a show, granted I'm not entertaining any of these things, it's like I'm actually awkward about it too myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I don't like this attention, this unwarranted. You know what I mean? I'm weird about it because I'm not used to it. I'm not so, and I definitely because women don't often make that first jump. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Right.
And so they're even less likely to than men, which I feel like most people are just not likely to make that right now. Like you're saying, with like everybody's so invested in their Tinder apps and their smartphones and it's weird.
Well, I mean, I think a thing that everyone should understand, but maybe men in particular, is that rejection is good for you.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And that it's taking the leap that really counts.
Right. That's what Grumpy said. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's said, you're going to be cringe, but you're going to get rejected, but you'll learn from it.
Right.
Yeah.
She's on it. And it's true. And the more you get rejected, the less it hurts. And then the more proud of yourself you feel, because like with anything in life, if you try your best, that's really what matters. You know, that's really what matters. Cause at least at the end of the day, you're like, I fucking made it. You know, I didn't make it. I didn't get the thing I wanted, but I tried, you know? And it's those things that haunt you where you're like, oh, what if I had talked to that girl? You know?
Right.
Maybe something could have happened. That's way more haunting than I walked up to her and she fucking flat out rejected me. Yeah. You're going to be laughing about that with your boys in no time. Yeah.
And they'll be like, dude, at least you said something. At least you had the nuts.
Or they'll make fun of you. It doesn't matter, but you'll be proud of yourself.
Exactly.
You'll be proud of yourself. And so I think that going out there, putting yourself out there, I think it's great advice. make female friends. You know what I mean? Like
if you're a dude, if you're a straight dude,
yeah, if you're a straight dude,
going after women,
yeah, right, and
or if you're a gay dude, then
if you're a gay dude,
make straight dude friends. I don't know. I don't have advice for you because I don't know. But
you're probably fine though if you're a gay dude.
I think you're
probably not worried about fucking where am I gonna.
I mean, I don't know.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
You're right.
But but I'm just saying, find friends of the opposite sex or just opposite interests. And open up your fucking broaden your horizons. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be about, sex or being in a relationship. I don't know how we got talking about this anyway.
No. I think it's a good topic. I was gonna say that my current girlfriend, who I'm very stoked about, I met her because I saw her.
Shout out current girlfriend.
I'm very stoked about her, and
that's great because you've definitely had some that you weren't stoked on.
Yeah, I've had some.
I'm glad to hear you've got somebody you're happy with.
I'm very happy, and I met her because I did what I'm talking about back in 2015 at an At the Gates show.
Sick,
right? And I saw her, and I was like, oh my god, like a cute metal chick who isn't wearing fishnets.
She's at the Gates show.
She's at an At the Gates show. Like, I must talk. And I was fucking. I don't even remember what I said. It was probably something cringe and lame, like, who are you here to see?
It's not lame.
Yeah, it's not lame, but it's not.
It's an icebreaker.
It's an icebreaker. And it's like, it's just what came to my head. And it was like, I have to do this. She will probably laugh at me. But if I don't talk to her, like, I will be kicking myself in the dick for the rest of my life.
All you have to do is look at women with your piercing blue eyes, and they're like, "Oh my god, are you from heaven?"
And I can just be like, and they're like, "Whoa, that's super interesting." No, I've been, dude. Remember? You remember this, but let me finish this story first.
Sorry.
All right, so I talked to her at the Gates. I got her number, and it turns out she lived in Arizona,
right?
And
so you went and visit her?
No. This is 2015.
Oh,
we didn't start dating. Yeah.
Because I remember you talking to her a couple months, a year ago.
Yeah, no, we started talking, like, we actually started, like, talking and seeing each other, cheers, about a year ago. But we always, like, stayed in contact. And once I found out she lived in Arizona, of course, at first I was interested. She was cute. But then I was like, so I was far away.
Right.
We'll maintain this friendship.
Yeah,
and it was literally like nothing in me wanted anything more. I was like, this is a cool chick. She likes metal. And there would just be some like back and forth correspondence here and there, And
does she still live there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm in a long distance relationship.
Damn, but you be traveling though.
I be traveling, and dude, I like it, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's a different subject. But but yeah, and we were just friends, and then when we started talking like much more regularly last year, it was just like friends, just no guard up about like, like I gotta pretend like I don't like her so that she thinks that she likes me more, like all these fucking head games. Yeah, no games. And then it just naturally flourished. So I would just say always shoot your shot, and then always be chill with being friends too. Like all of this fucking dumb shit that's on the internet about like alpha chads and shit like that puts so much pressure on dudes specifically, who are the ones who are oftentimes needing to shoot the shot, puts this dumb pressure on them.
Which the reality is that it's the time-old ancient tale about anything else, which is the B word, which is balance.
Yes. I was
and
like,
you have to have balance of being a fucking alpha chad,
sure,
because there's alpha chad things that I think are very positive with men.
Yeah.
There's masculinity.
Yeah.
The only thing toxic about masculinity is the lack of it right now. That's 100% how I feel about it.
Right.
And you can call me a fucking misogynist or whatever you want to. Go for it.
Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it. I'll keep talking.
You can keep talking.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. But I feel like you have to have a balance of being caring and also being, masculine as far as what I know to be relationships, because my only experience are with like straight, cisgendered relationships. So I'm not going to speak for, any other preferences, but for all my cisgendered males out there, you don't have to be too macho, but you can't be, too sensitive, it seems. You have to find this balance. And it's like anything else in life where you have to have balance. You know what I mean? But it's like you obviously can't be a fucking, a cringy Chad, but you can't be like, you can't be sad and mopey and a weenie all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's all about balance. And it's like, my dad's in here in the chat, and it's like, he's been telling me about balance forever. When I was playing video games too much, son, you need to learn balance. He doesn't sound like that, but it's like, it all is about balance. It's a huge thing. And it comes with the fucking, with the drinking, with smoking, with doing, substances or partying or whatever. You have to have balance in your life. But, shout out Papa G. Yep, that's right. Hate the woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's right, Dad. You know what's up. Yeah, we got to get Papa G on the podcast, you guys. It's coming. I'm working on it. I'm gonna have him in here at some point. It's definitely part of my my master plan. Get him on the pod. But yeah, he's a legend. He's got a lot of insight. I want to have him on as reoccurring, and I'll jot down some stuff that I feel like the world could use fatherly advice about. And then, yeah, shoot your shot. Take a second. Or take a chance, yeah. Dudes realize it goes both ways. Girls get rejected too. It's all fair game. Absolutely. Girls will get upset if they talk to me. They see me at the show and like I'm just in a happy relationship and I would never mess around.
Oh my god.
And so girls just get so upset with me because they'll like, hey, like your show is like really great. And I mean, this doesn't happen to me all the time. Like I'm not gonna try to act like I'm some fucking Chad.
Come on.
No, it really doesn't. And it's never one. I never enjoy it. It's never good. But they come up to me and they're like, hey, I like really like your show. Like you guys like look so great. And I'll literally be like, I'll be like this. I'll be like, right on, dude. And I'll give him one of these, or like give him like one of these. Like, look, I'll give him one of these. I'll be like, right on, dude. You know what I mean? I'm just like, bro.
You give him like a champ, like thanks champ.
Yeah, like give him like a thanks partner. You know what I mean? And just like bro down, because I'm just here to bro down. And they immediately are like, oh, he wants nothing to do with me. You know what I mean?
Girls get rejected too.
Yeah, that's what Grumpy's saying. So I was like, and I'm always nice about it. You know what I mean?
True.
But I'm definitely like not interested. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's funny but it's cool because then the conversation. This is the difference, I think, is that, and Grumpy, correct me if I'm wrong. When a guy gets rejected, most of the time he's butthurt about it. But I think what I've learned is that when girls get rejected, they're like, oh, this guy's like. Maybe we could just like be a friend.
Sure.
Like they're more. I think girls are more open-minded to like, oh, I just got rejected, but like maybe we could be friends.
We're getting into some territory.
You're right. This could be generalizing. This is generalizing. But I feel like dudes are more like, I want you, and they're like, no thanks, and they're like, fuck you then. I'm gonna go off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of dudes are like fragile like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like girls, you're like, hey, like. Have a girlfriend, I'm not interested, and they're like, okay, well, like, maybe we could just like fucking, just be platonic or whatever.
Yeah.
I think girls are way more down to have platonic friendships than dudes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a gross generalization. I don't know.
No,
but that's just what it seems like. You know what I mean? And even speaking personally, like, I didn't before I was in a relationship for a long time, like I was saying before, I didn't have a lot of girls that I was friends with. Mm-hmm. Maybe when I was growing up, but there's definitely like a period of time being a young adult male that I was just like,
Oh yeah.
Like
totally.
I didn't have girls in the friend group.
I was totally there.
But yeah, it depends. She says, yeah, you're right. It does depend. It's too hard to generalize.
It's hard to generalize about this stuff, but
it is.
I think everyone should just shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Whoever you are. And
don't be a creep.
Don't be a creep.
Shoot your shot.
You don't have to be a creep.
Shoot your shot and walk away if it doesn't hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe try to make a friendship out of it, because you could grow.
Sure. If there's like a real chemistry there,
right.
But there's like an interpersonal chemistry, but they're BF'd up, they're GF'd up. you know?
Right.
Like, you can just be friends, and that's totally chill, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Don't be a creep and take your L with grace. Yes,
Thank you.
Exactly. Grumpy knows what's up.
Thank you, Grumpy.
Thank you, Grumpy. She's gonna head off for now, but it's good. Thank you for being here and finding some stuff for us. We appreciate it. You did your service to the pod. We appreciate it. Here's another thing. So I wanted to go back. I know we've kind of been going away from music, which is good because like I don't want this to be a music podcast. I had somebody hit me up the other day and they're like, "Yo, dude, I saw you started a metal podcast," and I felt like I was like, "You've never listened to one episode of the podcast."
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, "This is not a metal podcast."
Okay.
Like,
I mean, the
like,
logo suggests otherwise.
Oh, it's just the logo. It's just the metal. It's funny. Yeah. What? It's my name.
I'm just going to say,
it's
off
fine.
the bat.
That's good.
I think it's good. I think it's a great logo. I'm just going to say, it's a metal logo.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Lots of non-metal stuff has metal logos.
Yeah, but that shit sucks, dude.
Nah, dude.
Yeah, dude, that shit sucks. Dude. That shit's
It's
whack.
on brand for me.
It is on brand for you. That's why you can do it.
But that's why the podcast is secretly just whatever I want it to be about.
Yes,
right?
no, I agree with that.
So
Absolutely.
You gotta brand it and get the kids interested,
Sure.
and then it's like they stay for the content.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's different.
Let's talk about.
But like, I want to have my friends on here, people I think are interesting. I want to talk about what makes them tick. I want to fucking figure out how they started doing stuff and ask questions that I've never asked them before.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some restaurant people on here soon, some business owners,
Sick.
kind of go down the entrepreneurial side of things
Yeah.
too, you know. But anyway, I want to go back to music a little bit. So you started with Nihilist, and then you had, what was the other name?
Rest the Wicked.
Rest the Wicked.
Like, they will rest.
And then it evolved into the
point.
Odious, which is your metal project, when did you, because, so you have such a love for music that is like so impeccable, I feel like, and it's such a different love for music than I feel like a lot of people have that I know. Like, you really like it. Like, you and I, you could come over and we could sit for 12 hours and talk about music. And there's not a lot of people that I could really do that with. And you love all the music.
I love all the music.
You truly love all the music.
I do.
And it's like you love it all for its its strengths and weaknesses. You love everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're almost kind of a bad person to be like, "Hey, Spinny, how's this sound?" Because you can be like, "Well, it sounds really good in this way." And you're like,
everyone's beautiful in their own way.
right? No, you'll give great. I'm kidding. You give great constructive feedback, but especially to your friends that you know, like me, that like really need. I want the nuts. I want the real feedback. Tell me. But when did you start getting into hip hop? Because that's what you're doing now, and it's such a weird. Not a lot of people jump from progressive, opethy metal stuff to like hip hop stuff. I want to know, basically, when did you start? Like, have you always been into hip hop since like as far as you can? When you were in Nirvana?
No.
Like, when did you? Because you're very knowledgeable and versed with like. You've gone back in time and looked at the whole lineage of hip hop, and you like, everybody from DJ Premier to Pete Rock to all these, classic dudes. And like now you become a producer and you're producing for other people, making beats, which speaks to like your musical talent, but also you have this interest in hip hop, and you showed me iconic people that I didn't know about, like Big L. You showed me these, you know what I mean? You love that whole culture, and you love like, you're not just a white dude jumping in on the SoundCloud rap game. Like, you have a true love for this shit, for all music, but your love for hip hop, it extends past just beyond like looking cool and being cool and doing the hip hop thing and doing the rap game shit. You actually like love this shit, and you love the old shit. You know what I mean? And you're like, you've researched it, and you've been into it for a long time. So I feel like I'm like, where did that come from? When did you start listening to it? If you can even remember.
Yeah, no, I was definitely into like rock first, well, I would say, I guess there's a few layers to it. So hip hop specifically, I started listening to on a regular basis, probably like freshman year of high school, like actually listening to it,
What are we talking? What kind of music? What songs stick out as like the first rap songs?
I think, who really first did it for me personally was Wu-Tang. And 36 Chambers, just the album, and then being like, whoa, just because like the imagery that they would use was so different from a lot of hip hop that I heard, you know, with like all the samurai shit, you know, that was up in there, and their influences with kung fu movies and stuff like that. And I remember that was the first stuff where I was just like, damn, like, because, and I guess this is kind of a digression, or this is a tangent, but I feel like there are two different types of music listeners in the world. There's people who are listening to the sounds and the actual notes and the instrumentation. There's people who are listening to the words, you know.
Okay, so there's more lyrically driven listeners and more musically driven listeners.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Has that been studied at all, or is that just something that you think?
That's just something I think. Okay. And that's just something I think.
I bet you're not wrong.
I think just because of all the people I've talked to, and people who love hip hop and love folk music, like those are all very lyrically driven. Pop as well, although pop can differ into, like, they've got crazy beats and soundscapes going on. Like Michael Jackson has crazy music behind him,
but nobody listens to Michael Jackson for that shit. Maybe subconsciously.
I would beg to differ.
I think that the masses listen to Michael for Michael, though.
Well, yeah, totally, but yeah, I mean, but if he didn't have Quincy Jones behind him, dude, doing all that crazy shit, like, it just wouldn't.
You're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong,
right? But so there's these two types of listeners.
I'm saying that, who do you think of the most Michael fans are? Like,
yeah, they're fans of Michael.
You think they're the lyric listeners, though?
But most of the fans Michael of Michael is interesting, because just because you're a lyric listener doesn't mean you're not listening to the vocalist, which is where metal comes in. Because you can't understand the lyrics with a lot of metal shit. Yeah. It's more of like an instrument. It's another instrument that's in there.
Percussionary, they call it.
Yeah. It's like a percussion instrument. So you still hear that shit. You still love it. You just don't know what they're saying. Right? And so that was always my where I come from, listening to music. I would never know what the lyrics are. I would know, like, the vocalizations, you know, whatever the fuck, but I don't know what he's saying. I make up my own words.
From metal stuff.
Well, no, from just music in general. Okay. You know, and I think that helped me enjoy music. You were listening to
the music more. You weren't listening to the lyrics as much.
Yeah, and I think that was a barrier. So
there's the two types of listeners. Yeah. And you were more of a lyrical, or more of a music.
More of a music person. And I think that was a barrier to entry for hip hop. Is where I'm going at.
That kept you from
it kept me
finding it sooner.
Yeah, because I remember Patty showing me hip hop in middle school. You know, and I was just like, I don't know, man. And the first song that it really clicked with me, because for me, I was just like, the beat is just the same all the way through.
Right.
It's the same all the way through. Where's the fucking crazy riff? Where's the guitar solo?
Where's the change up?
Where's the change up?
Where's the transition?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I was like, it's cool, but then I get kind of bored because the beat doesn't change, you know?
Right, okay.
So that was my thing.
So that's your musical self-talking.
That was my musical self-talking back in my early days.
Right.
And
what changed that for you?
I remember the song. I remember the song. It was "Serial Killer" by Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Featuring.
I can't think of it right now.
It's off of Doggy Style.
Okay.
It's one of the deeper cuts, but it's got this fucking. It's got Nate Dogg, and it's got the Dog Pound on it. Nate Dogg. Or not Nate Dogg. It's got the fucking Dog Pound, which is, I fucking forget. It's like Snoop Dogg's two cousins and shit. Nate Dogg's, I think, his cousin too. I forgot.
Uncle, I think.
Is uncle.
I think
okay.
It was his uncle. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
Yeah, dude, rest in peace.
Legend.
And it's also got, I fucking wish I remember his name, but it's got this crazy ending verse on the song "Serial Killer." And I remember hearing that and being like a little bit high and being like, oh, fuck. Because I was following every word. For whatever reason, the highness that I was at, I was just in the right mindset.
And that unlocked it.
It unlocked it. And
you were like, I have to go back and listen to all the hip hop.
Yeah. And then I was like, this is so fucking amazing.
So you really think that you weren't focusing on what people were, you weren't focused on the vocals at all? You were like tunnel vision on.
Well, no, I heard the vocals, but I didn't hear the words. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah. So you probably liked the rhythm that the vocals were doing. You heard the rhythm and you were like, this is a flow is cool, but you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, it wasn't like a story playing in my head, which is where I realized, like, oh, to truly appreciate some hip hop, you got to be right there with what the dude is saying to like really appreciate the full scope. You know, you got to be listening to the story.
Right.
You know? And then it was, like you said, fucking Gangstar, Black Moon, fucking
Big L.
Big L, dude.
So good.
Yeah.
And obviously like Biggie and Tupac, but it's like.
Oh yeah, no, obviously, and then me and Patty, like a couple of suburban white boys, started freestyling in the garage.
Yeah, I remember you always used to freestyle.
Yeah.
You would we would get drunk and you'd be like, you could freestyle. And
yeah, it's fucking fun.
Smitty?
Yeah, it's just so fun.
The metal guy can freestyle.
It's
that
a
was
fun
like
challenge.
that was kind of the whole thing though. It was like the metal guy can freestyle.
I guess.
And
yeah.
You had bars.
Yeah,
they were funny. And your original rap name was one of my favorite. Christopher P. Bills.
Yeah,
Chris P. Bills.
Chris P. Bills.
Chris
man.
P. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Chris P. Bills.
Yeah.
And I think I forced you to make an Instagram because you weren't on the platform.
That's
and
right.
And I told you to make your
It
name
was
Chris P.
Bills.
Chris P. Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Chris P. Bills. That shit is hilarious. Still funny ass rap name. Christopher P. Bills.
Chris P. Man.
Chris P.
And we made our first rap song in high school. Actually, it was called Bentley Continental.
Oh,
and I remember the hook.
I've never heard about this.
I want to pull it up someday, but the hook. And I was more comfortable being like more of like the Nate Dogg in the group.
Nobody.
Yeah,
yeah.
So the hook was like this. It was like Bentley Continental.
Nice.
Hoes on rental.
Oh, sick.
Fuck 'em in the motel. Fuck 'em in the motel. So sentimental.
Wow.
And I remember we were like showing people this shit.
Wow, that shit is sick.
Dude, it was sick as
When
fuck.
was this?
It's like freshman year.
Oh my
but
God.
we were just like, this is fun.
So you guys have been doing this shit for a long time.
We've been doing it for a while.
You've been making hip hop songs together for a long time.
Yeah,
and like now it evolved into what it is today.
And like the whole like hopping on the SoundCloud wave or whatever the fuck or whatever people think that we're trying to do.
I don't think anybody think that's not. Nobody thinks that. But I was just bringing when I said that, I just mean like a lot of people do that. You know what I mean? And like that's what I mean. It's like I don't think that people think that about you guys. Probably not. But it's like I think that in a world where that's what people do. Yeah. It's important to distinguish that you've been at this for a long time and that you're not just pivoting. It's like if anything, your ability to do it so well has kind of surpassed like it's been prioritized over doing the metal shit even just because it's popping off so hard and like you're getting millions of plays. It's like it's crazy what's happening. So it's like it's great.
It's wild.
It's beautiful. And we're just getting started, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean that whole thing.
So it's always been there to answer my question.
Yeah, it's always
the question was when did it transition from doing hip hop stuff to doing metal stuff to doing hip hop stuff? And it sounds like it's been there since freshman year, 10 years ago.
Well, yes and no, like not like making it. Like but
you did make it.
We did make it.
So it's always kind of been around.
Yeah,
it's always been something you've played around with. And
it's always been around. But then as far as like
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's always been a part of the shit that I love, and I do think there's huge connections between metal and hip hop.
Oh yeah, especially the way you guys are doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean there's that.
The whole new age of like with X Tentacion and like the screaming in metal has allowed the gap to be bridged so much more than it was before. I think.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And X was huge, like massive influence because there was it's really more just the freedom that guy had to do whatever the fuck he wanted to. Which is like, I'm going to do an acoustic ballad.
Right.
I'm going to do a boom
You
kind of
did a crash course with me on him.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't understand.
Yeah.
And because you're like, no, this guy's a legend. Like, you got to listen to this. He did so much crazy shit.
So much crazy shit. All of the drama and all of the edgy internet shit aside, like the music is just fucking amazing. And he did a lot for a lot of people as far as showing you that you can just make whatever the fuck you want. As long as you feel it though.
Right.
You have to feel it.
Is he responsible for like the Juice WRLDs of the world in a way? Or were they kind of all in the Little Uzi Verts? No. Were they all doing the same thing or?
No, they were doing different stuff.
They were doing it at the same time, kind of.
But he is, in a way, like he is very responsible for a lot of the current iteration of rapper going into the rock world.
Okay.
And showing like it can be done well. it can be done like tastefully. Because remember, like Lil Wayne kind of tried to do that shit.
It was a joke. Yeah, he tried to do some fake. He like lip synced a guitar solo.
Yeah, exactly. And he had already blown up, and it was kind of from a label. You could tell it was like, let's get Lil Wayne with a skateboard and a guitar, and we're gonna sell these records.
We're gonna get the Avril Lavigne crowd looking at Lil Wayne.
Yeah. But X did it from a place of, you could tell it was like genuine love. Like, dude fucking loves Slipknot, and shit like that, and love this music. But yeah, so. Long story short, the hip hop thing's been going on a while. But as far as releasing stuff with Grim Salvo, that's just been since 2018. And how did
that start? You guys were like, we're gonna make this project and we're gonna call it this. Like, how did that? Whole thing
it was just like just purely for fun, Yeah. Like, we just didn't want to tell anyone about it, Yeah. We didn't like really care what happened with it, It's
kind of blown up in your face at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been awesome, and it's just proven to me what I already thought about music, which is like the most important part is the music and like the purity of the music,
And how much you're having fun doing it.
How much you're having fun.
How much you love it and enjoy it.
Yeah. And like sometimes it won't be fun.
That's big.
Yeah, but huge. It's like it's got to be like coming from a pure place, because we just did it because we're like, man, this shit would be fun to do. Like, we're listening to all these crazy new artists that were coming out. Like, yeah, there's Suicide Boys and Ghostman and all this sort of stuff, but there was City Morgue and X, you know what I mean? Like, all of these like really fucking these cool artists that were blending genres, and we're just like, dude, this would be so much fun to make,
Right.
I make beats. I was already making beats,
right.
For fun. And like, we freestyle.
Which was really just kind of practice for you writing songs in a way.
Yeah, it was just sort of like
writing.
Exactly, yeah. It was practice. And I was doing that back when I lived at Gary's, like the whole time I lived there, And it was just a lot of fun. And I learned so much from making beats, because it's so different than metal, because it requires restraint, where metal is like everything's over the top. Everything's how fucking crazy can you make this drop. But with beats, it's like, ooh, like I've got to really choose the perfect place to put this kick.
Right. It's delicate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's like sushi or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you got to like really place things in the right area, because, each thing is so impactful. And so it really like taught me a lot about that, and how I with metal previously was just like everything 100% all the time kind of mentality.
And you got to hold back.
Yeah, you got to hold back.
You got to practice minimalism a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Definitely.
Fuck yeah. Well, dude, I mean, we just did 2 hours and 46 minutes.
Shit, dude. Like, we can just keep going,
like
too.
Nothing. I feel like we could keep going. I do want to listen to a Grim Salvo song. Do you have one that's not on Spotify that we can show the podcast that you have on your phone? Something that won't get flagged?
I do.
If not, I can just play something. But we could play a little sneak peek.
Let me see what I got on my phone.
I don't want you to get in trouble with any of the guys you work with or anything, but it'd be great if you could airdrop me something, and then we can just play it on the computer, and that way.
I just want this to be like, I can't send you anything that's not at least like in a demo ready state.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, you pick and choose what you want to send me.
All right. Let me see.
Just airdrop it to the old MacBook there. But gotta have people hear this shit. And I'm gonna put Grim Salvo's links in the chat, and then the links will also be in the bio for the the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Music and stuff. Definitely listen to Grim Salvo, you guys. It's the next big thing. They're blowing up. They're really popular in, like, what do you call the Eastern Europe? Is that what you call the area with Russia? And I know you can't really say Russia right now, but it's like Russians love him.
I don't have.
You guys have millions of plays.
I don't have new shit I can say.
You don't have new shit?
Well, I do have new shit, but it's shit that's
fine.
It would not be.
That's fine. I don't care about monetization. Do you have a song that you want people to hear that's on Spotify?
Yeah, and wait, do we need to like whitelist some shit for you or something?
What?
Like, I want you to be able to, do whatever you need to do.
It doesn't matter. It'll be fine. It's
okay.
just YouTube that'll flag this portion of the thing, and they'll probably make it silent.
We will do whatever we need to on our end.
All right,
whatever.
It should be fine.
Play the most recent one, the one that we dropped with Kamara. Feasting on the guts of angels.
Feasting on the guts of angels. Is that a Grim Salvo song? Is that actually on Grim Salvo's? It's this one right here.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I gotta do a quick little setting here, so we can hear it too.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so we're gonna listen to Grim Salvo featuring Kamara. And it's called "Feasting on the Guts of Angels."
Yeah.
And this is you and the vocalist from. Your vocalist from the Odious, Patrick.
Yeah, me and Patty.
And Patty's going to be the more screamy, higher pitched, I guess you could say, voice. And your raps, when they come in, are usually like lower. You're kind of the Mark Hoppus to his Tom DeLonge in the Blink 182 analogy.
That's one that goes over my head a little bit.
You should know. No, I'm just kidding.
I should probably.
He's like you're the lower voice that comes
I'm the lower voice.
He's kind of the more like.
Yeah. And I usually do more singing stuff, and he does more like, I would say his raps are definitely more like technical. Like there's some shit that he will spit that I'm like, what in the sweet fuck? Like, how do you do that, dude?
Right. All right, we're going to bump this real quick.
Very hype.
This is Feasting on the Guts of Angels.
Oh, and we've got a show coming up on March 25th, and we're gonna post it. Hopefully we get the
It's very hype.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like Salvo, but this sounds more mainstream a little bit in a good way. Like more accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you.
That's me. Sign me up, bartender.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you for doing this.
Of course, dude. That's Patty.
It's just so goddamn good. It's the newest Grim Salvo song.
Yes, sir.
Patty's got such flow. Do you write a lot of that flow, or is that all him writing the flow?
That's all him. He was meticulous with it. I've seen him rewrite, like write and rewrite. You know.
Talk a little louder because we're talking over the music.
Oh,
but.
I've seen him write and rewrite stuff many a time. And then
always he's the king of that.
Yeah, but I mean, like always when it's done, I'm like, oh shit, this is the perfect thing. And this is Kamara. Shout out Cam.
Dude, he's got an evil voice.
Yeah.
I still want to do a Gorgas song. I still want to do one.
Yeah, dude.
Try it out.
Yeah. You should.
Maybe someday.
You should.
Tyler, he said I love Ghostmane.
That's awesome, man. Ghostmane is great.
He's trolling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does that. He thinks it's funny when he does that.
No, that's a good.
He hears something and he's like, "Oh, I love like whatever this sounds like."
Right. No, that's a good troll.
It is a good troll. It's positive. This is way better than Ghostmane in my opinion. It's more fun to listen to personally. When we show our friends this, they're so surprised that this is you. It's so funny. It sounds so good.
I'm like, is that a...
I think they're just not used to hearing you as a rapper persona.
Sure.
Or a hip hop. They're used to hearing like you as a metal guy or metal singer.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not ready for it.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it's so quality is like borderline's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, holy fuck, it's so good.
Huh.
Like Matthias, remember him? Just our buddy Matthias just screaming when he like,
yeah.
no wait, this is you? No, it's not.
Yeah.
That was so good. Let's listen to another one. I'm gonna listen to one of my favorite ones. Close Ties is good though. Let's do that instead. I remember listening to this with you before it dropped. This is Close Ties by Grim Salvo.
If you like Ghostman, you'll really like this one.
This shit is so much better. Every time I listen to Ghostman, I'm like bored. This is so much better. I could be biased, but
no, I was trolling too. I was trying to do the reverse troll. Blew his mind when he heard it. Sometimes I want to sever every single one of my close ties.
Are you guys gonna perform this song at the show? Nice. When is the show?
March 25th.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I
can't believe it's March already.
I know.
Wow.
I gotta figure out where it's at, because all these shows are at strange places, you know. Stroke the Poland and the ego.
Ooh. When you hear this, do you hear like issues, like you wish it was better, or do you feel fully like? Here, I'll wait. Let's wait until it's over. It's so quality.
Thanks, man. Got the metal riff in there. Gotta have the little metal riff in there.
That's so dope. You guys add this element of like musicality, musicianship, of being able to just transition into some singing and shit. That's like, and it's so weird, uncomfortable.
Fuck yeah.
Corny, corn-like, like with a K.
Yeah,
corn.
Yeah.
It's very Jonathan Davis-esque.
Fuck yeah. It's probably one of my favorite Patty parts of all time.
Very sick. Yeah, you guys are just so naturally gifted at this shit. It's so ridiculous. I just feel like there's people that are so much... I'll save. I'll wait. Creepy. I just feel like there's so many people. 4 million views on this one. Holy fuck! You guys are crushing it, dude. I just feel like there's so many people out there today that are just doing this kind of sound. That are so. There's people that are more popular. And more like well known that are so much less good than that. They're so less. They're not as good as that. Like their music just doesn't sound that good compared. And it's like, I mean, I you guys are getting the plays, which is all that matters. But I hope someday. I hope that in the States they give you the love someday. But you know how the States are. You have to kill it everywhere else first, and then they like you.
I mean, we still have
the good following in the States.
We still have our highest following in the United States.
That's good. That's good. That's
Dallas, to be particular.
Dallas?
Yeah, Texas loves us.
You got to go to Texas, man.
I know, we do.
I'm going to be there for that.
But yeah, next up, then after that is definitely the fucking Russians and Ukrainians combined,
Yeah, lots of Eastern Europeans.
Yeah,
they very into that.
They know what's
into
up.
That shit.
They know what's up.
You guys have a formula down though, for real. Listen to Grim Salvo, you guys.
Thanks, dude.
But yeah, did you have anything else you want to plug, Spinny?
Oh, we just got that show coming up on March 25th.
Grim Salvo.
If I can speak properly.
March 25th.
Buffalo Trace.
We killed a half a fifth. We're gonna go sit in the hot tub now.
Dude, I'm gonna be fucked up.
No, we're gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna sweat it out.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get some food.
Yeah, dude, that sounds good.
We're gonna have a man's evening.
A man's evening.
Yes.
A men's evening.
A men's evening.
We'll share it on our social media. Follow us at Grim Salvo.
All the links will be in the chat right after this, and then also in the bio on Spotify in the description. So definitely check that out.
I got something. I am going to be starting a Patreon.
Oh,
a personal Patreon
for Spencer Linn.
Yeah, Mossback, Spencer Linn, whatever the fuck, But
your name's Mossback because you have a hairy back.
No, it's because that's a term for someone who is from the Pacific Northwest.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
But if people usually think it's because I have a hairy back, which I also do have.
You also do have one.
So it works on multiple levels. But yeah, like a Mossback is someone who was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest and never left.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's a Mossback, apparently.
I've never heard of that. That's great.
Yeah. But I'm going to be starting a Patreon where look out for that exclusive.
What are we
content.
Doing on there?
I'm just
Lessons?
No. I'm just gonna have an exclusive song
you jerking off. Is it like an OnlyFans?
No, you're gonna have to pay extra for that.
Oh, that's on OnlyFans. Okay.
Yeah, that's on OnlyFans. No, that's like you gotta hit my DM and then
you can get those videos.
You can get those videos. You just have to really you have to shell out. You gotta really try. Especially now that I'm like,
What about me? Do I have to pay for those?
I mean, I'm kind of a big deal, dude.
Right, but you'll throw me a video if I want one.
I might.
If I decide I want to see that.
After half a fifth of Buffalo Trace, I very well might. I love it. Much love.
Much love, Dad.
Papa G.
Thank you, Papa G.
Yeah, I love you, dog.
Well, Spinny, one more for the road for me. You already have some.
I was gonna say, dude.
You are a fucking legend.
Oh, thank you.
You're one of my favorite people of all time, and you're one of the most talented, sweet, kind-hearted individuals I've ever met. And I appreciate you for coming on the podcast and talking to me.
Yeah, man.
And bullshitting with me, and we'll do it all over again.
Let's
for
do
sure.
It.
Maybe next time we'll have Patty on here too, and we'll get weird with the whole both the Grim Salvo boys.
That'd be sick.
Check out Grim Salvo. Listen to the Odious. Follow Spencer. All the links are in the description. Really appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Love you, dog.
Love you too, man. And I think we can probably wrap it up on that note. But taste it.
You taste it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming out. Have a good one.
Hell yeah.